Edition of fair, fearless, and factual reporting. You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
5 o'clock.
From the Nationwide News Network, comprehensive, incisive, tough. This is Nationwide at 5.
Good afternoon, I'm Andrew Cannon. Coming up in the news for this Saturday, January 11, 2025, Ministry of Education mobilized support for staff and students of the Tayshia School in High School following a shooting incident near the school's campus on Friday. MP for East Central St. Catherine Orlando Terrelong reiterates his call for Portmore to be separated from St. Catherine and named Jamaica's 15th parish. BOJ says it has not embarked on any steps to redesign the polymer banknotes that were designed and printed in 2022 and issued in June 2023. In news from the region, in Trinidad and Tobago, PNM General Council decides on way forward amid leadership impasse. Rowley could face pressure to change plan. On the international scene, LA wildfires rage on as officials defend response and as dogs search for victims. While in sport, Jamaica's vice captain Damian Lowe shares thoughts on facing two of football's greatest legends, Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. The details after this.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
The Ministry of Education has mobilized support for staff and students of the Tayshia School in High School in St. Catherine following a shooting incident near the school's campus on Friday, January 10. It is alleged that 3 individuals who were shot in the vicinity sought refuge on the school's property. The ministry said no student or member of staff was injured during the incident. According to a release from the ministry, upon their arrival on the campus, the police were immediately contacted and the ministry worked closely with the school to ensure the victims were given the necessary assistance and transported to the nearest hospital for medical attention. The ministry said in response to the incident, all students were gathered in a central location for debriefing and emotional support prior to an early dismissal. It also stated that to further support the school community, the ministry's regional community care team will be deployed to Tayshia School in High on Monday to provide counseling and psychosocial support to students and staff. The police have released information about the Haitian nationals that were found in St. Thomas. In a release, they state that 3 Haitian nationals, including an 8-year-old boy, were found in a dwelling house at the border of St. Thomas and Portland on Friday, January 10. Reports from the Morant Bay Police are about 5:30 p.m. Lawmen were conducting an operation in the Hectors River area when a house was searched and the Haitian nationals, 2 females and a male child, were discovered. The women, along with a Jamaican man, were taken into custody and the child placed in state care. Member of Parliament for East Central St. Catherine Orlando Terrelong has reiterated his call for Portmore to be separated from St. Catherine and named Jamaica's 15th parish. His call comes amid reports of a multi-million-dollar fraud probe at the St. Catherine Municipal Corporation. Under existing law, the 12 councillors from Portmore sit as members of the St. Catherine Corporation. Terrelong says this arrangement results in the taxes being collected from Portmore not being used solely for the benefit of the city's residents. He says this is a situation where Portmore has the highest tax compliance rates in the country. Terrelong says the fraud scandal at the St. Catherine Municipal Corporation has revealed that what he describes as systematic issues in the resource management practices at the local authority. According to Terrelong, the scandal is an affront to the hard-working taxpayers of Portmore. He says the mismanagement has delayed critical projects in the Sunshine City. Terrelong says Portmore funds should stay in Portmore. The Member of Parliament says the ambitions for the city are at risk as long as Portmore remains part of the current system that ties it to St. Catherine and what he describes as the continued mismanagement of resources. Now, the details of the next story may be disturbing. Please exercise discretion. Detectives attached to the Manchester Police Division are probing the circumstances which led to the death of an unidentified man whose head was discovered in bushes in Manningsfield, Manchester on Saturday, January 11. According to reports from the Ayrshire Police, about 10:36 a.m., lawmen were summoned to the community of Manningsfield after citizens were alerted to the head by dogs that were allegedly eating at it. On their arrival, the man's head was seen lying in bushes. The head was removed to the morgue. The investigation is ongoing. The National Works Agency NWA says work is to begin on Monday, January 13 to reconnect the main road from Vauxhall to Union in St. Elizabeth. The main road has been impassable since last October when the box culvert in the community of Raheen collapsed. The box culvert, which was several decades old, was made from steel. Manager of Communication and Customer Services at the NWA, Stephen Shaw, says that a reinforced concrete box culvert is to be built at the location of the collapsed structure. The work is to begin through a $36 million contract and is to be executed over the next 5 months. Mr. Shaw says that the scope of the works will include the demolition of the existing collapsed structure, steel fabrication, and the construction of approach roads. He adds that a detour road is to be constructed in the vicinity of the new box culvert. This road is expected to be completed within 10 days and is to be used by motorists, while the new box culvert is under construction. Motorists are being advised to obey posted warning signs and the instructions of flag persons in using the section of the main road over the next several weeks. The University of the West Indies has launched a historic bond to refinance billions of dollars in debt as part of its efficiency thrust through its liability management program. The $3 billion bond was placed through the Cygnus Group on the Jamaican capital market. Senior Vice President and Head of Investment Banking at Cygnus, Gregory Samuels, says it will assist not only the university but the nation as a whole.
This initiative is more than a financial transaction. It is indeed a landmark achievement that embodies innovation, collaboration, and a shared commitment to building a sustainable financial future for this esteemed institution. When the UWI issued a call for a financial advisor to assist with its liability management program, Cygnus Capital immediately saw an opportunity to contribute to an initiative that aligns perfectly with our mission and strategic focus. What do I mean by that? At Cygnus, we are deeply committed to creating financial solutions that drives nation building and empower growth through impact investing.
Gregory Samuels, Senior Vice President and Head of Investment Banking at Cygnus. The proceeds of the bond will be used to address outstanding arrears and provide crucial working capital support. It will refinance 40% of UWI's $8 billion stock of debt. It is projected to yield significant annual savings of $80 to $100 million in debt service costs. It is expected to strengthen the university's financial position, improving its creditworthiness and securing more favorable terms for future borrowing. Meanwhile, UWI Mona Principal Denzel Williams says the bond forms part of a wider program to ensure the sustainability and enhancement of the university.
And so, in doing that, we have embarked here at the Mona campus on what I would call a three-legged response to the AAA plan. And what are those three legs? Leg one, revenue generation, and they're not in this order. They're non-mutually exclusive. Leg one, we say we are going for revenue generation. Leg two, efficiency enhancement, including cost savings. And leg three, academic, pedagogical, and research enhancements.
Denzel Williams, principal of the University of the West Indies, Mona. He was speaking at the University of the West Indies Mona campus launch of its liability management program. The Bank of Jamaica BOJ says it has not embarked on any steps to redesign the polymer banknotes that were designed and printed in 2022 and issued in June 2023. This follows the publication of a news article in the print media on January 10, referencing plans to redesign the country's polymer banknotes. In a statement on Friday, the central bank says it has inquired of commercial banks in the normal course of confidential consultations about their readiness for the next steps towards the removal of the Jamaica 60 logo and tagline from the new series of polymer banknotes. The 60th Independence Anniversary logo was included on the new polymer banknotes in recognition of the attainment of the milestone by the country in August 2022. The BOJ says this type of recognition is not new, as a similar acknowledgement was made on banknotes issued in 2012 when Jamaica observed 50 years of independence. It notes that the Jamaica 60 logo is not a security feature of the current series of banknotes. According to the BOJ, no decision has been taken on a timeline for the issuance of banknotes without the 60th Independence Anniversary logo. But it notes that a timeline for the removal of the Jamaica 60 logo will be communicated following further consultations. The central bank adds that sufficient quantities of banknotes are in stock to meet demand. In news from the region, in Trinidad and Tobago, People's National Movement MPs who didn't sign the endorsement letter for Energy Minister Stuart Young to succeed Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley have assured they will sign eventually, but they first want to hear the views from the General Council members on the selection issue at the party's Badesier House, Port of Spain headquarters on Saturday. And some PNMites who are concerned about the process used to decide on a successor have a motion in the works for debate at today's council session proposing that Rowley step down immediately as leader but remain as Prime Minister, and for the party's internal election to be held by March 31 rather than September, top PNM sources said on Friday. This after Thursday's Central Executive meeting, which deferred all business concerning the leadership successorship issues to today's General Council. Saturday's meeting brings to a head simmering heat in the government following the recent parliamentary caucus in Tobago, where, following Rowley's recent retirement announcement, Young received votes from 11 MPs to succeed him when he resigns. Planning Minister Penelope Beckles received 9. On the international scene, 4 wildfires are currently burning around Los Angeles, with 2 others now described as being contained. At least 11 people have been killed so far and 13 others are missing. The disaster has also led to more than 12,000 homes and other structures being destroyed. Senior officials, including the mayor and fire chief, have defended what they did to prepare, saying resources were pulled from other parts of California. North America correspondent John Studworth has watched waves of firefighting aircraft try to hold back the huge Palisades fire. A forecast for more strong winds predicated to last until Wednesday raises fears that the blazes could spread further. And now to sport, Jamaica's vice-captain Damian Lowe, fresh off his encounter with Cristiano Ronaldo in a Saudi Pro League match on Thursday, shared his thoughts on facing 2 of football's greatest legends, Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. Lowe, who has competed against both stars, credits Messi as the more challenging opponent of the two. Lowe faced Messi twice during his career, in the 2023 MLS season when his former team, the Philadelphia Union, played against Inter Miami on August 15, 2023, and during an international friendly between Jamaica and Argentina on September 27, 2022. Reflecting on these moments, Lowe highlighted the qualities that set both players apart. Despite his praise for Messi, Lowe also acknowledged the enduring brilliance of Ronaldo, who will turn 40 on February 5. As a cornerstone of Jamaican football, Lowe's insights provide a unique perspective on the challenges of defending against 2 players who have defined an era of the sport. Known for his commanding presence in defense, Lowe has built an exceptional career, representing Jamaica on over 70 occasions and competing in top leagues across the United States, Europe, Africa, and now the Middle East. And now for a recap of the top stories making the news at this hour. Ministry of Education mobilized support for staff and students of Laetitia Schooling High School following a shooting incident near the school's campus on Friday. MP for East Central St. Catherine, Alanda Terrelong, reiterates call for Portmore to be separated from St. Catherine and named Jamaica's 15th parish. BOJ says it has not embarked on any steps to redesign the polymer banknotes that were designed and printed in 2022 and issued in June 2023. Remember, you can find the news on our website at nationwideradiojm.com and on the Nationwide app available on Google Play and the App Store. Use us next at 9 tomorrow morning, but stay tuned because coming up next is Sports Nation Live with Wayne Walker and Alex Swaby.
Come to Marshall's Pharmacy today for your free medication management consultation. Let us guide you in taking care of what matters most, the health of you and your family. Shop now for gifts, personal care, household and stationery items, plus print services powered by Print Corner. Follow us on Instagram at Marshall's Pharmacy. Call or WhatsApp us at 876-491-7841. We are open late every day to serve you.
Excelsior Pass Students Association Network of Champions cordially invites you to our 94th Annual Founders Day, Sunday, January 19th, 2025, under the theme, Honoring Our Legacy, Building Our Future. Church service commences at 9 a.m. in the auditorium, located at 137 Mountain View Avenue. Guest speaker, Bishop Dr. Marcel R. Fullwood, class of 1983, Partners Worship Center, Canada. Following the service, join us for brunch and entertainment at 11 a.m. in the auditorium. Entertainment by Harold Davis, Prilly Hamilton, Akeith Nugent, and Shanika Jeffrey. Contributions only $5,000. For further info, call us at 876-898-8294 or email xlcrpsasecretariat@yahoo.com. Don't you miss it.
You can have it all. Company events, birthday parties, or the wedding of your dreams. It's all possible at Grand Palladium Hotels and Resorts. We have magnificent event rooms and a dedicated team that will make your event the best experience that only Grand Palladium Hotels and Resorts can offer. Contact us at 876-619-0000 or call your favorite travel agency and ask about our promotion designed especially for you.
Okay, good afternoon. It's Saturday, January 11, 2025. Now, if you bowl it, we'll hit it for 6. If you pass it, we'll score it. Give us a pull, we'll dive in. And as fast as the starter's gun fires, we're at that finish line. I'm Alric Weber. This is Sports Nation Live on Nationwide 90 FM, nationwideradiojm.com, and Flow Channel 916. You can also tune in to our program live on our YouTube channel, Nationwide 90 FM. And remember to like, subscribe, and share our content. And we open the lines at 7:30 to take your calls. The numbers to call are 876-630-9371, and that goes up to 4. Now, coming up, we have another packed and exciting show lineup for you. We'll be talking track and field, netball, NFL, and much more. But first, an athletics lesson from 1 Corinthians 9, verse 24.
1 Corinthians 9, verse 24. Do you not know that in a race all the runners run, but only one gets the prize? Run in such a way as to get the prize. Did you notice when reading this verse that it doesn't say you must win or you will win? It is actually telling us that the kind of effort and dedication victory requires. Competing with integrity is the key here. Anyone can cheat and win, but what does that do us morally? It's not about winning at all costs or abandoning your values to do anything it takes to win. This is telling us we need to perform at our absolute best and have the self-discipline to compete in a focused, well-practiced, and strategic manner. If we do that, we will perform in such a way that will be nearly impossible to beat. Will we get beat sometimes? Absolutely. However, in performing with honor, we can feel victorious even in a loss.
Okay, so that was our athletics lesson from 1 Corinthians 9, verse 24. Now, in our feature, you just had to be there. We relive the West Indies women beating Australia in the final of the ICC Women's T20 World Cup in 2016.
Good end to the over. Excellent end to the over. Yeah, it goes in the big screen. Alyssa Healy was already 3/4 of the way off, to be honest.
Highest record holder. Now Villani, it's a half century for Elise Villani, and it's come from just 34 balls with 9 fours. That's been a fine innings. Slower ball, a dolly.
Gone for 6. Finger goes up. Nice, powerful shot. Finger goes up. Excellent over so far from Deandra Dutton.
Well, confirmation out. Really good fielding by Stacey Ann King and Dotton taking the bails.
No, it won't be, but just one of the final over of the innings bowled by Deandra Dutton, and Australia finish on 148 for 5.
Oh, he's big again. Has she gone big enough? You bet she has. Yeah, the charge is on. The charge is definitely on. Not a big shot. This could go all the way. It does go all the way. They're starting to believe. She gets the single. It could actually go further. It could go for 4. What a way to go to 50. 50 for Taylor. Men and women in the final. There you go again. And gone. Taken the catch. They needed a wicket, the Aussies. They've got one.
Out. Straight to point. And the captain, Stephanie Taylor, is gone. Could be a run out, should be a run out, not a run out, and the winning runs could come from an overthrow. And the West Indies, for the first time in their history, have won the Women's ICC World T20 title.
Okay, so that was our feature. You just had to be there, where we relive West Indies women beating Australia in the final of the ICC Women's T20 World Cup in 2016. We take a break and we come back with more right here on Sports Nation Live.
Share in the experience at Fontana Pharmacy. We have a wide variety of items in store just for you. Fill your prescriptions while you shop. And senior citizens enjoy 10% off. Shop household, cosmetics, toys, and many other departments. We also offer curbside pickup and delivery. Visit our website at fontanapharmacy.com. Fontana Pharmacy, where it's all good inside.
If you're a homeowner looking to upgrade your space, a business owner in need of durable and cost-effective construction solutions, or an Airbnb host looking to make your guests more comfortable, Freeform Factory has got you covered. Their expandable polystyrene foam products are the perfect solution for building, insulating, and decorating your space in a cost-effective and durable way. Visit them today at 6 Nanspent Drive, Kingston, or 7 Harbour Street, Montego Bay, or call 876-757-2395. Freeform. Build, insulate, decorate.
Are you ready for it?
Revo. Coming soon.
Okay, good afternoon. Welcome back to Sports Nation Live. I am Alex Sebi, working with Kevin Williams on the other side of the glass, my technical operator. We'll be talking some cycling now, as the country's top cyclists will be on show at the Port Royal 10-mile time trial on Sunday. The event, hosted by Simmons High Velocity Cycling Club, will feature 4 categories: elite, masters, juniors, and juveniles. Organizer of the meet, Carlton Simmons, says the riders will be using the event to gauge their readiness for the season.
It's a push for them to see where they're at in the season, because one of the things from the club perspective is trying to host some events, because we will be hosting the Jamaica International Cycling Classic first weekend of April. So racing is something that is going to be very important for them, and more so for those who are looking to take part in the Classic. It is going to be some serious competition there based upon the teams that will be coming from the international space. So from a club standpoint, we are trying to energize the space and giving them something to get them in a competitive mode.
Okay, so that was Carlton Simmons, and we have the man himself, the organizer of this Port Royal 10-mile time trial, Coach Carlton Simmons, as well as cyclist Damien Douglas. Gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to the show.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
It's my pleasure.
Good afternoon.
Right. Okay, let me start with you, Carlton. This the first event, cycling event of the season. I'm sure you're looking to set the standard as it relates to cycling going forward for this year.
Well, I mean, that is one of the plan and objective of the club, because the mandate that the club has is to manage, coach, expose, and to put on events to develop young cyclists, budding cyclists, with the end result, the Olympic Games. So for us to kickstart the season is a positive.
Right. And tell me, in terms of interest, how enthused are the cyclists to come out for this ride?
I think they're upbeat. I mean, we had a training ride this morning, which is one of the biggest I've seen in quite a little while. I mean, the energy is up, so I'm looking to have a good turnout, or to see a good turnout tomorrow at the event.
Right, let me bring in Damien here. Damien, tell me, going to this meet, what are you looking for? What are some of their goals?
Definitely winning is the priority tomorrow. But I mean, top 3 is never a bad thing.
Right. And tell me, what in terms of training for this meet, I mean, you're just coming out of the Christmas period. I'm sure you, like others, have been celebrating a lot of cereal and cake and all that. What has been, did you have to hold back on the celebration knowing that this meet was coming up? How did you train for it?
Yeah, I had to hold back a lot. I actually trained the whole week through Christmas and New Year's, you know. I just put aside the cake and the cereal and just, get the work done.
So I guess you are in a better position than your fellow riders, because I'm sure they would have enjoyed their cake and cereal and not be thinking about this week. So we're looking for you to come out on top come Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, that's the goal.
Right, but Damien, this, like I said earlier, it's the first race of the season for cyclists. That is, you would have put in the training. I mean, like you said, the top 3 is your goal. One of your goals. You would prefer to come out on top or be on top of the podium. But apart from that, in terms of time, in terms of fitness, what are other things that you're looking for to improve or see where you're at?
Yeah, I mean, the 10-mile course is not the best pavement, so I'll be looking towards averaging 26 miles per hour. That should take me around, on the 10-mile course, that should be around 23 minutes. That's really the goal. So that's really my target, to hit about 23 minutes for the time trial, for the 10 miles.
Right. And Carlton, this is an event that it states that road bikes only. Tell us why, and what's the difference between a road bike and other form of bikes?
The difference between the road bike and what you call the time trial setup, one gives you a more aerodynamic feature. So if you do not have a bike set up like that, it actually go against you as a rider riding the standard bike. And one of the things that, from the coaching side, is trying to identify talent from these events to bring together into a pool of riders that from the federation side we'll be looking at. So it's creating the atmosphere where everything is standardized.
Right.
So the best of the best will come out, and not just because of superiority as relates to the equipment. So that is one of the reasons why I standardize the bikes, so it becomes a level playing field for the event.
And tell me, as you look on these riders, what are you looking for? What should they exhibit for you to say, okay, these are the riders that we can take and prepare for regional and international competitions?
I mean, it's assessing based upon the distance and based upon the time that from the coaching side we'll be looking at. Because when it comes down to any cycling event, speed, stamina, strength endurance, speed endurance is what will count. That will get you at top of the food chain. So from the times that they will be doing, it will give me an assessment as to where they are. So and further on in communications, we can instruct and give information as it relates to what it is that we think they need to be doing to lift that level and standard.
Right.
So those are some of the things that I will be looking for from riders.
And Damien, what's the category you'll be riding in?
I'll be doing the elite males.
The elite males. And you would have been around cycling for some time. You would have been familiar with the riders. When you think about who your possible opponents, who are some of the top names that you'll be looking out for to say, well, if I can do better than this person, then I should be among the medalists?
For sure, Andrew Ramsey. He is the current national champion, which I came second in the national championships in June of last year. So he'll definitely be the top contender tomorrow.
What I say, Andrew Ramsey, right?
Yes.
Okay, I thought you said Andrew Ramjeet. I know that as a jockey, so I wonder if he'll be over by Cayman Park. But like I said, Andrew Ramsey is one of the persons that you're looking for. But how competitive you think this ride will be, seeing that this is the first ride of the season?
Yeah, I mean, it'll be extremely competitive. Again, purely because it's the first ride for the season. You don't know where guys' levels are. As you said, a lot of them might have been drinking a little bit too much, eating a bit too much of the cake.
Right.
So, I mean, you never know, It's the first outing of the year, and everybody is coming to do their best.
Right, and Carlton, Port Royal, this 10-mile time trial, why that venue?
One of the first things is safety. A lot of our roads, traffic is an issue. Port Royal is a quiet space. It's a friendly space for cycling. The road surface isn't the best, but it's cycling. People race on cobblestones. People race on gravel.
Wow.
So for me, the surface is not a problem. It's more about safety for the riders that counts for me. And it's a quiet space in relationship to other road areas. So that is why I actually use that space to host the first event.
Right, and earlier in the clip you mentioned some international riders that will be participating. Where will these riders be coming from?
Well, not for this event, for the International Cycling Classic, which will be in April. That event will be hosted in Montego Bay,
right,
along the North Coast Highway. And we're looking to have about 17 teams participating. As far as the Netherlands, we'll be having teams coming from the U.S., South America, and the Caribbean. So it is going to be a wide range of international riders that will be coming, and our local riders will be put to the test. So it is very important for us to be doing these development races to kind of let them see where they are in terms of their training and development leading up to that event.
Right, and speaking of seeing where they are, the main, you mentioned the time. You want a good time. You want to finish amongst the medalists. But tell me, are you setting yourself up to be in contention to be on Jamaica's team to a regional or international competition as you go out to ride tomorrow?
Yeah. Definitely national representation is the pinnacle of our sport, you know. So every ride I'm going on, every training session, every race, it's about getting into that national team, yes.
But at this point, you can't do much now. The race is tomorrow. But when you look at your training and your preparation, is there anything you think you could have done better or improve on as you prepare for this race going in?
I mean, not necessarily, but I mean, it's easy to overthink a day ahead of the race that you haven't done enough training, haven't done enough preparation. But I mean, it's just going out there and doing your best, you know.
Right. And Carlton, what's the prizes like for the riders?
It's more on the development side, so it's not a big payout. I mean, the winner for the elite, I think, will capture $6,000. And it goes down, I think, to $2,500.
Right.
So, you know, and the elite women is the same price. Juveniles will be getting medals. The masters, I think it's $4,000 to win. Juniors, $4,000 to win. So it's more development versus trying to put out big purse money. You know, I mean, the big purse money will be at the Classic.
Mm-hmm.
So it's getting them ready and sharp and giving them some type of racing for assessment.
Right. And Damien, you're one of the elite riders. Tell us why Jamaica should come out and watch some of the country's top cyclists in action come tomorrow.
I mean, I might be a little bit biased, but I believe cycling is the best sport, you know, and it's super entertaining. So coming out and just watching our best and just supporting, it goes a far way, you know. It goes really far.
And Carlton, what time the competition starts and where can patrons come out and see it?
It starts at 7:30 a.m. sharp. It will start at the Morgan's Harbour Hotel and ends there. So it starts at Morgan's Harbour all the way out to the airport runabout, back to Morgan's Harbour. So it's about 11 miles, 10 point something, almost 11 miles of effort. So that's where we can be found tomorrow morning. The registration starts at 6 a.m. and closes off at 7. And the event will start at 7:30 sharp. So the first rider will go off at 7:30.
Okay. So if patrons want to view the race, in your survey of the course, where are the best places you would encourage patrons to come out and view the riders and encourage the riders as they go by?
I mean, anywhere along the course, it's fine. Anywhere along the course.
Right.
I mean, the start area, we have a lot of parking area there that can be utilized. And I mean, people can come out and even have a ride themselves and have a walk or a run and just entertain themselves, you know, and get some exercise while the event is happening. It's a quiet space, you know,
right,
in terms of traffic, so it's safe. So people can come out, do a walk, do a run, or even do a casual ride themselves to get in some level of exercise while the event is happening.
Right. And when we look at not the course, but the whole event, is it accredited? Will riders receive points or anything like that to go towards them being qualifying for international or regional competitions?
Well, not this event. What it will do, though, is get riders to be seeded. So there will be a point structure to it as it relates to upgrading of athletes into different categories. So they need to come out and perform. you probably might have people holding back because they don't want to be upgraded, but you can actually tell, well, from the coaching standpoint, if John Brown was at his full potential.
Right.
But this event is not one that gives points internationally. What it does is give you points and accredited you to be a part of the national program if you perform very well and stay consistent with your performance.
Right. And finally, Carlton, not prize, but you must have gotten some sponsorship, some support in terms of hosting this event. Who are some of the sponsors that you want to say thanks to?
Let me find my listing here. I want to say thanks to Gavin Ports, Chemcrip, Sharp and Sons, McMaster, Total Manor Park, and Energy Buzz for coming on board to support this event tomorrow.
All right. Okay, gentlemen, thanks much and wish you all the best come tomorrow.
Thanks again for having us.
It's my pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so that was organizer of the Port Royal 10-mile time trial, Carlton Simmons, and cyclist Damaine Douglas. We take a break and we come back with more here on Sports Nation Live.
As a parent, you give your children a good start in life. You nurture, protect, and guide them. Parenting is a process that prepares your child for independence. As your child grows and develops, there are many things you can do to help your child. Stay tuned to The Big Show, nationwide this morning, for parenting tips. Fridays at 6:53 a.m. Only here will you learn everything you need to know about parenting. Tips to help parents navigate the incredibly challenging and rewarding journey of child rearing. Parenting tips on Nationwide at 90 FM, the revolution in media.
Are you ready for it?
Revo. Coming soon.
Okay, good afternoon and welcome back to Sports Nation Live. I am Alex Schreiber, working with Kevin Williams on the other side of the glass. We'll be talking some netball now, as Jamaica's national senior netball team and South Africa will face off in a 3-match netball series at the National Indoor Sports Centre on January 18, 22 and 25. The teams will be competing for the Margaret Beckford Trophy. The series follows on the Sunshine Girls' outstanding performance at home in the recently concluded Horizon Series against England, with the Jamaicans emerging 2-1 winners. Sunshine Girls defender Jodian Ward says they are aiming for a series sweep.
Jamaica can expect some great netball. We have been training really hard and we've been preparing for South Africa similarly to the way we prepared for England. This is really going to be a series to show if we can actually put out a full performance. We did drop the ball for the first couple of games against England, so we are just looking to solidify everything to actually come away with a clean sweep.
Okay, so that was Julian Ward, defender of the Sunshine Girls. Now we're joined by the coach of the Sunshine Girls, Sasha Gay Henry. Coach Sasha, good afternoon and welcome to the show.
Good afternoon and thanks for having me.
It's my pleasure. You would have heard from your defender she's going for a sweep. Are you as enthused as she?
I mean, I'm just as enthused as the players. I'm excited that, they are so enthused about it, about the performance, about fixing some of the things that we have not done properly, and just to build on what we have done against England. So I'm quite excited, just as the girls are.
Right. And tell me, when speaking of correcting some of the flaws you would have seen, I know you don't want to give away too much of your secret because the South Africans, they'll be coming in today. But what are some of the areas that you realize that needed fixing? Because I was at the games against England, and I see where there were a bit of turnover on our part that we could have been a bit more tidy. We are far more athletic than the England team, but they seem to pass the ball better and get it down the court faster than us. So, what were you seeing?
So I think one of our biggest thing that we really need to correct is our through court attack. I think we need to keep better possession of the ball, in terms of executing how we strategically get through the court. It's very important to us. How we deliver that ball inside our goal shooter is another area. And I think definitely we want to improve on our through court defense. I mean, I think sometimes it was so easy for them to go through. So, I mean, I am just, waiting. We are excited to have this level of competition because, it do help even our youngsters, and I'm quite excited about them particularly. I mean, we have so many players who play down under, but especially our local base player who really don't get this opportunity to play at this level that much. We are excited for them, and we want to see the growth and how well they will adapt to this second tournament that we have.
Right, and tell me, you mentioned earlier having another high quality tournament like opponent like South Africa. How exciting or important it is to have back-to-back strong opponents like this, England and then South Africa, and I'm sure we're going to see Australia and New Zealand coming in short order. How important it is for the fans as well as the players to keep sharp.
I mean, it's very important for us. At this level, we have not been having much international competitions, and the only way we can improve is by playing these teams. And we have to play the top teams in the world. So England is one of the top teams, yes, in the world. And, I mean, it's the only way we can grow, and the only way we can grow is by playing these teams consistently to see how well we can compete, how well we can match up against them. So, I mean, it's very exciting. It's very important for us. I mean, especially, as I say again, back to our players who play in our local leagues, because our international players, they play in that type of atmosphere day in, day out, week in, week out. We don't get that opportunity, right? And then it do cause a problem sometimes. So, I mean, for us, at this level, the only way we can get better to even improve on our ranking and improve on getting that gold medal one day is by playing these top teams and seeing how well we can match up against them, and that will make a big difference for us.
Right. And when I was at the games during the England series, there were a number of schools team present. I want to know if this was a thing created by the Netball Jamaica, or the schools decided to come out and support.
I think it was strategically planned by Netball Jamaica to get the schools to come on board. I think they paid less in terms of the amount to enter, and I think this competition also give us more opportunities to bring our younger players in and to view the games, because not only will Jamaica play the senior team, but they will also play the under 21, which is an earlier game that will facilitate from primary, prep school, high school, and even college. So, and even the other. The larger public. So we are excited that this level of netball is playing, because we want to capture, we have our pathway coming through. We want to put more persons to see the young girls playing and to want to be more involved, in this type of netball, so that we can grow not only at a certain level, but netball on a whole will just build and get bigger and better.
We had Coach Dale and Jody on the show last week, and I was telling them how surprised some of the England fans were at the support the Sunshine Girls receive. Tell me, were you surprised by the support of the Jamaican fans, and is this something that you would have experienced when Jamaica traveled?
I mean, definitely, I wasn't surprised. If you're speaking about locally, you're talking about locally when we have our crowd support.
Right.
Okay, no, not surprised. I've played in this atmosphere. We have gotten a jam-packed stadium, so I know what the atmosphere is like. But the difference between us and England now, England will have a bigger arena to play in. We have a smaller arena. Our crowd is more vibrant. Our crowd is more enthused. Our crowd actually motivates. Even the England fans, the England players were quite excited to see the type of atmosphere based on the size of the arena compared to this. Our crowd was just actively involved. They were just the driving force behind those girls, pot cover and all of the whistle and all of that. Our crowd support is just such a big deal for us. And we're excited, and we just hope that we can just flip this time. I don't think we had a jam-packed arena, but I think South Africa, based on our performance, just begging the crowd, begging the support from Team Jamaica to just come on board and just support these sets of ladies who have been performing back-to-back, being very successful in their encounter playing for Jamaica.
Right. After the England series, Jamaica would have moved up to third in the World Netball rankings. I'm sure this series take on added importance, seeing that England will be playing in that quad series against South Africa as well. It's more important for Jamaica to come out on top.
Yeah, it's a big deal for us, to really play well and execute and definitely come out on top. But, it's not going to be an easy one. I think it's going to be a very challenging one. When any team come up against Jamaica, they always give up their best, So, we're excited. We know what we have to do. South Africa and all of those teams know what they have to do, but we really have to focus on what we're doing. The success behind England has passed gone. We build on that confidence level, but I think it's a whole different game that we're looking forward to, and we just use that confidence in terms of just building strategically as a group to compete and execute well and to get the results that we really want.
Well, I hope so too, because for the England series, you give us some scared, almost sending us to the hospital a couple of times. But the game was very exciting.
Let me tell you, I know we give you a scare, but I must commend the ladies. I think they did an extraordinary job. Not playing for such a long time, not having any international series from the past World Cup, and to come in England to level one and almost won it. Although we lost by 8 goals. I think it's an achievable goal. We came back and we won by 2 goals. And that's how the game goes sometimes, and that's how we want the game to go. Yeah, sometimes we lead we were catching up from behind, something that we really want to correct. But we're using this other series to see how best we can improve on some of the areas. Definitely, I think that we lacked.
South Africa is ranked 5th in the world, Jamaica 3rd. Is that a major difference that you'll see because of that you'll see a major difference in the score and performance?
It might sound funny, but it's no major difference. England ranked 3rd and 2nd. We ranked, it was
4th.
4th in the world, and they were ranked 2nd. And the performance said something. So the 4th definitely won the 2nd. So it just goes to show that you can't be lackadaisical. You can't think that you're over the bridge because you're number 2 versus a number 3, or you're 3 versus a number 4 or 5. It talks about performance on the day, and that's what is very important. So, South Africa is just as good as us. They just won their cup recently, and they finished off with Uganda with a beautiful performance. And I think we will just have to build on what we were doing. So definitely, it's all about game day. We're expecting England and South Africa to give a show, and we are coming to do the same.
I don't know. You have the cost to get in. You know what's the cost for patrons to get into the National Indoor Sports Centre?
I am really not much in the administrative work, but I think there are different tiers in your the admission into the games. I think the cheapest cost is $1,500. I don't have much details to that, but you definitely can contact the office and find out the details to all the prices to head in. But I know the cheapest cost is $1,500 for the game. I'm not sure what the cost is for the students to come in, because I know they will pay a less cost to come in.
Right, and in terms of you have gotten a lot of support from Jamaica, corporate Jamaica government, and the fans as on a whole. Just let me give you an opportunity to say thanks to them, and encourage them to come out come the 18th, 22nd, and the 25th.
Yeah, just to say that, without our sponsors, we're very grateful for our main sponsors who have been with us for a long time. They saw the vision in us, and we are excited about that. They are where we are today, because without the sponsors, we wouldn't be able to operate this program. But it takes cash to care, and we're very grateful, and we just, big up our sponsors for the continued support. But we really would love more sponsors to come on board, because at this level, we're still lacking to have a premier operations of the whole netball arrangement from senior right down to under 13 level. So, we want other corporate sponsors just to come on board and support us. These girls really are eager to help, but just to big up a few sponsors that I know for sure. We have Wasinko, who's we have JOA. We know we have Wasinko is the other one. Who else do we have?
Most definitely Horizon.
Problem.
Most definitely Horizon.
Getting myself in problem.
But the sponsors know themselves. So the sponsor and right. And
supporting us. Yes, the government always give us our support also, and we're grateful for that. So JC Foster College also, my college, who always support in terms of transportation and venue for matches. We are excited about that. And just to say that, just thank you, sponsors. We really appreciate, and not only the sponsors, but also our fans who always come on board to give us that extra guidance, the self-player behind us who give us that driving force and motivation to really excellent to do well. Without them, it wouldn't be possible.
Right. And training, as usual, has been difficult, especially to maneuver around the players going to school and work. But you're satisfied with the quality that you have seen?
It's a challenge. It's a big challenge. It's something that, it takes cash to care in that aspect. When we compare ourselves to all of those top teams, those girls play only netball. The coaches only focus on netball. So that's their job. But it's very unfortunate, because definitely we know that some of our players will have to be going to school during the time, and they will have to work. But with what we have, we really try to give our best despite our situation. So, we're still excited, but we hope we'll get there one day where the players are just fully paid and they're able to just think, breathe, eat, sleep, netball, and to see how we look competing against the world when we're at that level.
Okay, then, Shasha, again, thanks much, and we wish you and the girls all the best.
Thank you.
It's my pleasure. Shasha Gay Henry, coach of the Sunshine Girls. With that, we take a break and we come back with more here on Sports Nation Live.
Outperform, outlast. With top performance. Easy Jackama. Reliable, full stop, not comma. We have the expertise for drilling and demolition. We have the power tools for plumbers and electrician. Fancy leg tools, 3 parts and 3 repairs. 3 parts, 3 repairs. 2 to 3 years. Hilton, available at Delta Supply, 106 Hagley Park Road. Call us at 876-302-6111-4. Delta Supply, we service what we sell.
Who shops at Creative Building Finishes? You, the homeowner who creates luxurious spaces with our floor and wall tiles. The contractor and builder who are convinced that our ceramic tiles are right for the job. The architect and designer who make dreams come true with our wood look and porcelain tiles. Superior customer service, knowledgeable staff, inviting showroom, and you get where this is going, right? Shop 5 Red Hills Road or call 876-929-5553. Get tiles, get Creative Building Finishes.
Okay, good evening and welcome back to Sports Nation Live. I am Alex Raby, working with Kevin Williams on the other side of the glass. And just in case you're wondering where's Wayne is a bit under the weather, so he's taking some time off to recuperate. But like Jerome Jarrett, I feel him just need some arrowroot porridge. Jerome Jarrett is weak because Manchester United has been stressing. So I guess you need some arrowroot porridge, Jerome. So I'll hand it over to you now.
By the way, did I take the bet last week? Do we have any evidence of me taking the bet last week?
You were scared.
What was the bet?
You were scared.
No, what was the bet? That
if Man U win, I would have worn a Man U jersey and vice versa.
No, but you're so confident of victory that you walk around with your chest, out like you thought it would have
and
been.
And we gave you an opportunity to win something and you can't.
You almost lost the game.
No, we changed our mind. We wanted to give you the victory, but you just didn't want to take it, so we changed our mind. We
so
settled with a draw.
Okay, in the derby, of all, come on, Liverpool already. But anyway, good afternoon, listeners. Good afternoon, Alric, everybody, and in Radioland. Usually you'd have heard us about 6:30, but we're on a little bit earlier this time because we have a little bit more to talk about. It's a playoff season. And the playoffs are underway. We have a game in progress right now, Houston versus the Los Angeles Chargers. But before we get into that, we have a World Flag Football Tournament that is taking place in Tampa between the 15th of January and the 20th of January. And we have online, I will ask them to introduce themselves. But we have Kevin Hines. Kevin, you're there?
I'm here, Jerome.
Yeah, man. And we also have Kimberly. Kimberly, are you there?
Keisha Hamilton.
Sorry, Keisha Hamilton. My bad.
Yes.
Hi, Keisha.
Hello, how are you doing?
No. Yeah, so we have Keisha Hamilton and we have Kevin Hines online. We have usual suspect Paul and Remy waiting to get in on the NFL segment. But before we jump in the NFL, let's talk a little bit about the Flag Football World Championship, Keisha, that's happening in Tampa this week. Tell us a little bit more about it and our involvement, Jamaica's involvement in the Flag Football Championship.
So yes, it's going to be the largest flag football tournament and championship. World Guinness record should be there. 1,322 teams, over 100 plus teams from different countries are going to be there representing. So one of the largest tournament, or the largest tournament, like I said, in the world. It's the USA Flag 2025 World Championships. Jamaica is bringing a women's team, going to be playing 5 versus 5 pro division, a men's team in the 5v5 division, as well as a co-ed mixed team is going to be competing. So it's just a great opportunity for Jamaica and for the players to continue to bring exposure to flag football. We want to make sure that we're growing it on the island. We have a lot of talent on the island that wants to play but haven't seen a lot of it on this stage. So we're excited to represent. We're excited to wear the colors and show what Jamaica can do.
Yeah, that sounds good. Kevin, I have some friends who's telling me that pickleball is the fastest growing sport in the world, and then I hear on all over the world that flag football is the fastest growing sport in the world. Which sport is really the fastest growing sport in the world?
Well, I guess you could say yes for both. I know pickleball is picking up, but flag football is actual team sport, so it depends how you look at it. Pickleball is a little recreational tennis, right?
Baby tennis, miniature tennis.
Baby tennis. So, I mean, it depends how you look at it. I mean, we're not going to take shine from no one, but we know flag football is the fastest growing team sport in the world. How about that?
All right. So tell us, the team from Jaffa will be participating. Tell us about the team. Tell us about where we're getting the players from, and what are our realistic chances in this tournament.
All right. Hey, here we go, guys. This is it. All right. So Jaffa has grown from the last time we've all spoke on air live. So we have expanded. So we have players from Canada, from US, and of course Jamaica, and even UK. So right now, registration is open for anyone that wants to join. But right now, Keisha can also tell you we're overwhelmed, but we're loving it because we like where we are right now as a team. We went to Cancun last year in August, and we went to Panama, and we did well in boat competitions. And we have much more competitions to go this year, starting with this one. Wednesday we'll be in Tampa, and the weekend we'll be playing all those tournaments, the girls and the guys. So it's a great time, great moment for Jaffa as we speak.
All right, sounds good. So Keisha, tell us a little bit about the format of the tournament. Who are we going up against? Is that round robin? Is it a knockout competition? Tell us a little bit about the tournament and who are we playing in the first round and our realistic chances of going through to the finals.
Definitely feel that we have great chance on both sides, men and women. We have a lot of talent, a lot of young talent. We have Jamaicans coming in from Canada, Jamaicans here in the US, playing on the team. So for the 5v5 format, like I said, it's 5 versus 5. We have 2 games that we'll play. The women play on Saturday morning, bright and early. So we'll play at 8:25. We're taking on an elite team out of Texas, I think is where they hail from. Then we have a second game after 9 o'clock with a team out of California. Based on pool standings in those 2 games, we'll move to playoffs. Everyone moves to the playoff round. And then after that, it's knockout, right? Win or go home is what they call it. So from that point on, have to win all of your matches up until the championship at 3:35 p.m. There's a $5,000 prize on the line for the women's side. So, of course, extra motivation, right? That's there. But again, just growth and pride. We did great in Panama, and just want to show how much we've built from that as a team to be able to make it to the championship in Panama. We want to be able to do the same thing here in Tampa.
So I hear you said there. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you, but I hear you said there's a team from California and there's a team from I think you mentioned Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it the US normally claim everything as a world championship. Is it just a championship of the US or is it a world championship? Are there teams from outside of the US that are competing in the tournament?
Yeah, so it is, and USA Flag makes sure to say it's a world championships, and they have invitations, like I said, there's over 100 plus teams from different countries. Of course, there's some countries bringing more teams than others. We're bringing the men's and women's, and then the mix. I know there's Pakistan, Canada usually have over 80 plus teams that they bring down from there. So there's several teams from Canada, and there's some of the teams that will be playing that's also from Canada. I know, there's Puerto Rico that has a team.
Well, France
has a team.
Bahamas, Cayman Island, Austria, China, England, of course, got the UK, Cuba, who we experienced playing against them in Cancun, Mexico. That team is pretty, how you say, lit. And here's a surprise one. We have Afghanistan, which is awesome. So yes, it is a world's game and it is a world sport.
So are these teams based in the US, or these teams are traveling in to participate in the tournament?
No, they're
Some are
definitely traveling in.
Some are
Some are traveling in, some are in the U.S., but I know for sure the Canadian teams and Afghan and some of those other teams are all traveling in to play.
Oh,
And of course, the situation in Cuba, they obviously are based in the U.S.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about the format of the games, Keisha. How long are the games? Do we, how long is a match, and how, what's the turnaround time for these matches?
Yeah, so these are very fast-paced matches. So 2 12-minute halves. You get 3 downs to get a first down. And first down, the fields are 50 by 30, or 70 full field, 10-yard end zones, 30 field wide. You get 1 first down. So you get 3 downs to get a first down and 3 downs again to score. Running clock, so you got to move fast, right? Either you move fast, or on offense you can milk the clock and score and not give the other team an opportunity to score. Very fast pace. The clock doesn't stop at all in the first half. It stops within the last 2 minutes of the second half. So the match typically lasts about 30 minutes long, but you're constantly going, so you got to be ready to go. Once you're on offense, if you score or don't score, the other team gets the ball. They don't have to wait on you. So they can run their offense on, and your defense better be ready to go right away. So like I said, extremely fast pace. You got to be quick with your subs. You got to be moving fast. You got to, as coaches, we have to get the plays in very quickly to our players for them to get set up and ready to execute.
All right, sounds good. So Kevin, I mean, in terms of sponsorship, do we have locally a sponsor that's sponsoring the team going to the tournament?
Well, when you say locally, we have some sponsors locally that have contributed certain things towards the team, but most of our sponsors are based in the U.S. I
want to give Iron Shore.
You can elaborate on that. Yes.
Yeah, no problem. So Iron Shore, which is based in the U.S., is actually a Jamaican company, though. So based in the U.S., but Jamaican company have an office there as well, and operations in the U.S. and Jamaica. They're one of our top sponsors. Sponsored us for Panama, sponsoring us again big time for Tampa, and they bring over migrant workers from Jamaica to the U.S. So they do a lot for the Jamaican people there in Jamaica. Anyone coming over trying to go to work, and the resort areas, things of that nature. We have Ship to Shore, who came on recently as a sponsor. We have KB Sports, MK Sports are our sponsors, as well as Athletes in Action. And actually, all those sponsors are, 3-4 of those sponsors are Jamaica-based. We're looking for new sponsors, wanting new sponsors. As you can see, put you on the world stage. The games are going to be televised on CBS Sports as well. So we'll make sure to get that information and share so those on the island can watch.
Yes, and it's very important to add with the sponsorship that no little is not, we're taking anything, because we got sponsors today that called up and say, hey, what can we do? Can I send you a case of water? So we got At One Lawn Service, and based out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. They jumped on, and they're contributing 2 cases of water for the team, which is going to be like 248 cases. So if we have more persons jumping in like that, I mean, it adds up. So every little bit helps. And we also have a restaurant in Tampa that's well, I guess you could say sponsored the whole day. They're giving us free lunch for the day. That's flavors. Yeah, flavors. Yes. So we just want a big shout out to those sponsors as well. Like I said, anything helps, because when you're traveling, Jerome, and also we want to thank you, because we heard that you're going to be joining the team out there, brother. So we appreciate the support, brother.
Yeah, I love football. I'll definitely be there. Definitely be there.
The support. That's what we're talking about. We're getting phone calls from all over, man. Aunties, uncles, everybody is trying to get up to Tampa. Like she said, it's going to be a lot of teams out there, and it's going to be huge. The Guinness Book of Records is going to be there, and it's going to be on CBS. So this ain't no, how y'all say, little thing, big thing this here. All right, so just letting y'all know this.
Come on, leave the patois alone. Leave the patois alone.
Hey, Jay, I'm still trying.
No. I know you're my boy now. You're my boy. You're from New York. You're from Miami. But leave the patois. Leave the patois alone, David. Leave it. So you mentioned CBS. Is it a regular CBS or there's a special CBS that will it be streamed live? Where can persons watch?
Yeah, so they said CBS Sports is who's going to be televising the game. We'll get additional information as to, is there specific games that they're going to be televising? Is it just the championship games? What their schedule is going to be exactly, and we'll make sure to share that. But from my understanding, CBS Sports is who's going to be there to televise the games.
Yeah, please, as soon as you get that, you can share it with us. And for persons in and around the Miami area, the Fort Lauderdale area, Tampa, Orlando, that wants to come and watch, this is an international show, Alric. So we know we have people listening from all over the world. Tell us where is the event being held, and ticket prices, and how persons can come out and support.
Yeah, so it's being held at Tournament Sportsplex in Tampa. It's a huge sportsplex, very well maintained, lots of fields out there. Huge parking lot. There is no entry to watch the game. There is a charge for parking, but no entry fee to watch the game. So you can come. There's going to be games being played from 8 a.m. all the way till 9, 10 o'clock at night, from Wednesday all the way through to Sunday. So if they're in the area, like I said, Tournament Sportsplex in Tampa, that's the location. It's in Hillsborough County. They'll be able to find it.
All right, that sounds good as well. And finally, who are some of the players to watch in this tournament? Are there NFL players that are going to be in this tournament? Is XFL players are going to be there? And tell us just particularly some of the Jamaican stars that we should be looking out for.
Well, there's going to be some NFL players.
Be careful. You don't mention certain players there, because you don't want to play. You can tell them who's going to be there.
No, I'll say NFL player Tyreek Hill is going to be there. Rumor has it he may be playing on a team. Not too sure about that, but he's definitely going to be there.
The Cheetah.
Hill, the Cheetah is going to be there. There's players to watch specifically. Other NFL players, they might be there. Not sure if they're allowed to broadcast that yet, since the season is just coming to an end.
No, man. Meaning when I say be there, mean actually be playing, because if we hear that flag football is going to be in the next Olympic Games that will be held in Los Angeles. Are we expecting NFL players to be competing for the US? Are we expecting, because we know we have Jamaicans playing in the NFL. I mean, shout out to Daniel Hunter. He's actually playing the game right now. They're actual Jamaican players in the NFL. Are we going to be seeing actual NFL type players in the Olympics and trying to qualify for the Olympics? And another question, when are those World Cup qualifying games gonna be held? Is this one of those games that is a preview to World Cup qualifying, to Olympic qualifying? Sorry.
Yeah, so this game is not a preview to Olympic qualifying, not related to that. So winning here really puts us on the stage as far as competition and see where we are, right? Because there's a lot of top talent throughout the U.S. and in the world that's going to be there. So while it's not a qualifier for Olympic, it is a very important tournament for us to gauge where we are and to grow our brand and what we're doing with flag football in Jamaica, and get excitement on the island, right, to play, so our top talents and our top athletes on the island can see what we can do, and that we need them, and we're going to need them as we try to vie for a position in qualifying for the Olympics. As far as the U.S. and NFL players playing, that's something they've had going back and forth a while. There hasn't been any decisions made by USA Football as to who or what that the process is going to be for the U.S. team. So I can't speak on that. I know some of the flag players that are diehard flag players want to be the ones to represent, right? Because they've been playing, invested in it before it was even going to be an Olympic sport. Before the thought, and they've been a part of pushing for it to become an Olympic sport. So I know a lot of those players that's been on the team want to be the ones to be there in the Olympics and feel they've earned that spot. But like I said, USA Football has not made that decision quite as yet. As far as qualifiers, that hasn't rolled out yet. We're all sitting, waiting. That is going to roll out soon as to what that process is going to be for us. In the meantime, what we're doing, like I said, is just building that excitement on the island. We want top talent. We have a lot of speed, a lot of talent in Jamaica on the men and women's side. And, you know, I know a lot is used to running track, playing netball, playing football. This is different, but I know we have the talent to be able to represent on an Olympic stage. So we just want those on the island that can play to see what we're doing and want to be a part of it and join us.
All right, so definitely give the contact details for Jaffa and for the persons who are listening in Radio Land, want to get involved in flag football. For those persons who don't know what flag football is, you know, it's easy. Just go on Google, just go on YouTube flag football. But it's pretty much American football without the hitting, right?
Yes, pretty much American football without the hitting. It is faster because it's a smaller field. So that's where us again as Jamaicans, we're known for track and field and we're known for speed, right? Not everybody's going to make it to the Olympics in track. So for those, you know, 5 versus 5 is very quick, very fast. Everybody has to be able to run. Everybody has to be able to play offense and defense. So for those that are interested, website is www.ja-afa.com. At Jaffa on Instagram, my Jaffa on Facebook, jaffa.info@gmail.com to email us. Please look us up, like us, love us, sign up. Memberships are rolling out for those that want to join because it is the pathway for Flag Football Jamaica, which is the national team recognized by the Jamaican Olympic Association. So we play with Jaffa. We have tournaments coming up in Dominican Republic. We were just invited to go to the UK to play there in their tournament. We have Cancun again, August, Panama Bowl coming up. We're going to hopefully be hosting our own bowl that we're working on, the Irie Bowl in Jamaica as well. So,
and that's the big one. That's the big one. That's the big one, Jerome. The Irie Bowl. That's where we want corporate Jamaica to jump in and help assist us because we're bringing a lot of persons on the island and they're going to want to come here and have a good time in Jamaica and enjoy some beach and enjoy some football. So look us up, and that's Jaffa. That's J-A-F-A, Jaffa. Just look us up.
All right.
Locally, you can contact myself at 876-822-1673, Coach Hines.
Yeah, that sounds fun. It sounds like something that person should try and be a part of. Flag football, very exciting. And we look forward to an exciting tournament. I mean, I will be there with my pot cover and my vuvuzela making a lot of noise, you know.
All the noise makers, bring them.
Swearing as loud as I can.
Because they're talking smack overseas. They think because we're just now coming on the scene internationally, but we've been doing this for Jerome, for a good while. Yeah, 2009, 2011, we've been balling, and now we're trying to just make it bigger and better and get the best of the best out there on the field, so we can represent Jamaica well.
All right, I'm not traveling so far to lose, So let's deal with this thing and let's start this thing out as best as possible. Well, guys, thanks Kevin, thanks Keisha. Any final words before we go?
No, just much appreciate the support, man. Appreciate you pushing this forward. Excited and looking forward to the growth of flag football in Jamaica. Like I said, we have big things we're going to do. I want us to shock the world, right? Shock the world. Make sure they take us serious. So.
No, we definitely will. All right, so we take a break. We'll be back with more on Sports Nation Live.
To Marshall's Pharmacy today for your free medication management consultation. Let us guide you in taking care of what matters most, the health of you and your family. Shop now for gifts, personal care, household and stationery items, plus print services powered by Print Corner. Follow us on Instagram at Marshall's Pharmacy. Call or WhatsApp us at 876-491-7841. We are open late every day to serve you.
Are you ready for it?
Revo. Coming soon.
Welcome back to Sports Nation Live. You're in the Jerome's Gridiron, and we have online Paul and Remy. Paul, I know you're getting ready to head out to Maryland. I mean, you have a big game on your hand this afternoon. Will you be in the stands?
I mean, I will not be in the stands, but I'll be close. In terms of just the experience, I'll be going to one of those immersive screen locations with a couple of friends. And considering how cold it is, and I am from the islands, I'd rather stay inside, to be honest. So I'm looking to have a good time and cheer on this Baltimore team.
Yeah, I'm sure the ticket prices weren't cheap either. So
I work up the ladder, but
I'm just saying. These playoff prices are ridiculous. I don't know if it's because when I do these things I have to work out the conversion, the Jamaican rate, but it's ridiculous, man. It is ridiculous. But anyway, the playoffs have started, gentlemen, and we see some exciting football being played already. The Houston Texans is actually up 10-6 over the Los Angeles Chargers. A little bit of surprise here, Paul. Let me start with you. I thought the Chargers would have been in a position to handle the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans seem as if they were limping into the playoffs. The Chargers seem like the more ascending team, but the score 10-6 is suggesting that the Houston Texans at home are putting up a greater resistance than I had expected. Your thoughts on this game?
I mean, I have similar sentiments in terms of just how I expected the game to play out. I think it's still early days yet. You're literally looking at a halftime whereby the game isn't out of reach. I think Justin Herbert and this Chargers offense just simply needs to be more committed to whatever they want to do as far as moving the ball. You're going to either be running it or passing it. And so far, it looks a little bit lopsided in terms of how they want to approach their attack. That being said, I still think that the Chargers will pull off this victory. So I'm watching and hoping that they can actually execute and get it done.
Yeah, Remy, your thoughts on this game? I mean, the Chargers are 3-point favorites in the game. 3 points on the road is significant. But we see Houston putting up a fight. Is that case where the Chargers are not as good as we thought they were?
Well, I had the Texans in this game, so I mean, I'm really not surprised. I mean, it's early; it's just one half of football, but I saw this as a 50-50 game. Both teams are not known for, stellar offenses. They're both very strong defensively, and I expected Houston defense at home to give the Chargers some trouble. So far, it's been playing out that way. The Chargers don't really have much in terms of offensive weaponry that I think can threaten the Texans. I mean, other than Ladd McConkey, none of their receivers are going to strike fear in the Texans secondary. I think their best chance is to, run the ball, maybe try to get a, takeaway on defense and take it from there.
Yeah, I think there are stronger teams that could have made the playoff than these two teams. I mean, I know that the Chargers have the number one defense in the league, and I know the Houston Texans are, in recent years, are perennial playoff Saturday player. I think they are playing on the 3 o'clock window. I think this is about the 8th or 9th time. So they are perennial playoff contenders. But injuries just seem like this team, is just derailing this team. I mean, we've seen Tank Dell go down. We've seen Stephon Diggs. The left tackle. Like it's injury after injury after injury. Is the winner of this game just meet for Kansas City in the next round? Paul?
I don't think we can ever say that. At the end of the day, this is a playoff team. It is the NFL. I agree with the sentiments you shared in terms of the injury bugs, especially for the Houston team. I think especially the Chargers go ahead, Kansas City should watch out. This Chargers team defensively is excellent. I think they are very familiar with KC and their scheme. They always seem to give Patrick Mahomes trouble. And I mean, looking at them now, even playing this game, that their stud wide receiver is still a beast. I mean, at the end of the day, it's the playoffs. And if you're in the dance, you have a chance. So I don't think we can just throw them aside and not expect competition from them.
I just think the winner of this game is pedestrian, and Kansas City should be able to handle either of these teams easily. Even though the Chargers generally give the Chiefs a little trouble. The Chiefs, I think, have won 8 straight against them, so I don't think they're really that great of a competition to the Chiefs. But anyway, let's get to the next game on tonight, which should be a really, really closely contested game. The line doesn't suggest that. Vegas is giving Baltimore a 9.5 point favorite over the Pittsburgh Steelers. Remy, I know you let me not preempt it. Who you have in this game and why?
I have the Ravens in this game. I am not sure that they will cover the spread though, but I think they'll win the game. And it's my reason for picking Baltimore is I think both teams defensively are solid. I mean, the Steelers have a bit of an injury bug right now in the secondary, but and I think TJ Watt is a little mixed up. But defensively they're both solid. My concern for Pittsburgh is that I just don't think they'll be able to keep pace because what I have seen out of Russell Wilson and the Steelers offense is not very inspiring at all. I mean, I think Paul said it last week that with Russell Wilson at quarterback, it's either a 3-pointer or a dunk. They have no in-between game, whereas the Baltimore Ravens, a plethora of weapons, to use the cliche, a well-oiled machine. They're going to score points, and I think the Ravens are going to win this game, by a touchdown. I mean, I give the Steelers credit because of Mike Tomlin and the rivalry, but Ravens a different class.
Paul, Zay Flowers, they're all-pro wide receiver for Baltimore Ravens went down last week or week before last, and he won't play in this game. I mean, that will hamper the Ravens somewhat, especially in their passing game, because their next best pass catcher has 15 passes. That's Bateman. So there's gonna be a lot of tight ends. There's gonna be a lot of running back out the backfield after Lamar Jackson, after Derrick Henry. If Pittsburgh, a well-coached team like Pittsburgh, you go into a game with Pittsburgh and they know that you're coming off the bus trying to run the ball because your passing game is handicapped. Is that advantage Pittsburgh in your mind?
Not necessarily. I mean, to kind of go back to what Remy said, you put out the spread and the favorite positioning when you have these two teams coming together that know each other. And I think when you look at the fact that, yes, Flowers is out, but you still have Mark Andrews, you have Lamar Jackson, who is my MVP as far as I'm concerned. There's still so many weapons on that Baltimore team. And I actually expect Baltimore to really lean into the run more so than anything else in this game. At the end of the day, this matchup to me comes down to the fact that Pittsburgh can't produce on the offensive side of the ball. I don't see Russell Wilson being able, after 4 consecutive losses, do something different against this Baltimore team to even keep pace from a scoring perspective. So yeah, it's an issue, but I expect a game whereby Baltimore is going to muddy it up. It's really bad conditions. It's probably going to feel like the teens out there. It may even rain at around 8 o'clock. Don't expect a throwing competition anyway. So I don't think it's that big a deal.
So we all have Baltimore winning the game. We've seen Lamar Jackson struggle, Remy, against the Pittsburgh Steelers in recent time. He's 2-4 against the Steelers, and he's also 2-4 in the playoff. The last game, they beat Pittsburgh and they beat them handsomely, but the game was a lot closer than the final score. I think Russell Wilson was running in the end zone and got hit and fumbled the ball, I think at the 5-yard line or something like that.
That was early in the game though. That was like in the first half, but I get you.
Yeah, the game was very close heading into the fourth quarter. I think the game was tied at some point, and the game before that, Pittsburgh won the game and didn't even score a touchdown. I think they had 6 field goals in the game. These games are generally close, and we know Mike Tomlin is a coach that gets his players to play hard regardless. Are we underestimating this Pittsburgh Steelers team, their ability to turn up in games like these? This is a Pittsburgh Steelers kind of game, cold, wet, Pittsburgh, January. The game is in Baltimore, division rival. This is a game where Pittsburgh Steelers normally get up for. Are we underestimating this Pittsburgh Steelers team?
Maybe. I mean, there is. I struggle to view Pittsburgh the way that I once did, because what I've seen in the last month, 5 weeks to a month, like I said before, is just not very confidence inspiring, especially when you have, a premier or a receiver that is potentially a game breaker in a George Pickens, throwing temper tantrums, dropping balls, not looking focused, not running strong routes to clear things out for the other receiver. I just don't see enough. I have no doubt that the Steelers will play hard. I have no doubt that they'll give effort. I just don't think it's going to be enough against a team that is not only going to match the Steelers' effort, but maximize their talent and, play a better football game all the way around.
Paul, any concerns at Lamar Jackson? We've seen Lamar Jackson in the playoff. I mean, he has these demons. He has these playoff demons battling with. Any hesitation in going all in on Lamar Jackson in a playoff game?
I don't think we can have those hesitations now, looking at the kind of season that he's having.
We've seen Lamar Jackson have MVP seasons before.
Let me make my point, because even when he won unanimous MVP the first time around, it was not near to how he's playing right now. And I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, particularly when you watch him play football this season. Lamar is locked in. Whether it's him losing or winning a game, it's not because of things that he's not doing. The biggest criticism against him when it came against the big three, it's the Burrows of the world, it's the Patrick Mahomes of the world, and in some cases, Josh Allen, he not only didn't win the games as a quarterback, he played terribly. I don't see that happening. I can't necessarily say I don't have a concern that Baltimore will somehow scheme themselves out of a game and try to be too cute about things and not play to their strength. But I think Lamar Jackson will be Lamar Jackson. And we should expect a career-changing type performance as far as him in this playoffs coming up.
I hope so. I mean, I think Lamar Jackson is deserving of a Super Bowl. I think he's played well enough. I mean, he's clearly the hands-on favorite now to win his third MVP. Voted the starter for the All-Pro team. I think that's an indication where the voters are. I think that the fact that he played, I think, 4 straight primetime games to end the season, and he balled out in all 4 games. I think it swayed the voters, and persons have not seen Josh Allen in a minute playing football. And I think that swayed the voters to Lamar Jackson as the season ended, and I think he will be the MVP. And I really hope that he is able to go into Kansas City and beat Kansas City. But first, they have to go through Josh Allen. So let's see. But talking about Josh Allen, tomorrow the Buffalo Bills will host the Denver Broncos. Denver beat Kansas City last week. Kansas City is back up to confirm their place in the playoffs and earn themselves a trip to Buffalo, which I think they are 8.5 points underdog in this game, and really are up against our well-rested Buffalo team, and Buffalo should be able to handle business in this one. Paul?
I don't like the spread. I don't like this expectation that Buffalo is going to ease past the Broncos. That Broncos defense is ridiculous. That secondary with Surtain and company is next level. You're literally talking about the type of scheme that they can set to the Bills with shutting off one side or even shutting off your pass game. But all that being said, Josh Allen is still Josh Allen. I think if he goes out there, put on his Superman cape, not only passing the ball but running the ball as he can, and if he stays upright, because my issue with him is taking these risks on some of these big hits. If he doesn't get injured, Buffalo wins. I just don't think this is going to be this easy, smooth, expected outcome that a lot of people speak about.
Remy, do you smell an upset here?
Initially, I considered it, but I think when you look at what Josh Allen has at his disposal, not only does he have a good group of receivers, on the outside and the slot, but he also has two excellent tight ends and a running back. No doubt Denver will keep them in the game. Denver's defense will keep them in the game. I expect the Bills to make the majority of their yards in the passing game over the middle of the field. I think Patrick Surtain is going to blanket whoever he's assigned to. I think Riley Moss will play a good game. But as Paul pointed out, I think if it comes down to it, Josh Allen is going to make a play. So I think the Bills are going to win this game. I think they'll win by a touchdown, maybe 6 points, something like that. Denver will keep it close. But I just think that, Bo Nix, young guy on the road in a very, very hostile environment, I just can't see the Broncos doing it. But, it's the NFL, you never know. But I'm going with the Bills.
Yeah, Josh Allen is pissed off. Like he's upset. Lamar Jackson is clearly taken as a lead in this MVP race, and even with the All Pro now, Josh Allen is pissed off, and the Broncos are just coming in town, and they're gonna feel the brunt of it. It's gonna be cold. It's gonna be a snow flurry in Buffalo, and Broncos are not they're foreign to snow, but they won't be able to handle this avalanche that's coming down Buffalo, and I think Buffalo wins. The next game tomorrow, the Philadelphia Eagles host the Green Bay Packers. Paul, your Philadelphia Eagles well rested, Saquon recordless, and I think they should be on upset alert. I know the Packers haven't looked good all year. I know Jordan Love is injured, but your quarterback is coming off concussion protocol, hasn't played in 3 weeks. Should be a little rusty. All indications are that he looks fine. AJ Brown hasn't practiced this week, resting a knee injury. All indication is that your team is fairly healthy and well. Any hesitation picking your Philadelphia Eagles, knowing that the Green Bay Packers went into to Dallas last year and put a hurting on the Dallas Cowboys in this same wild card round. Any hesitation picking your Philadelphia Eagles, Paul?
I mean, I like the fact that you brought up all of the so-called issues that we're having, and you led with that. Okay, fine. But the one thing I'll start out in terms of my rebuttal is comparing us to the Dallas defense of last year, much less the Dallas defense of this year. This Philadelphia Eagles defense, both in the run and the pass rush, is unbelievable. We're playing in the link. Yes, AJ Brown is injured. When is he not injured in the playoffs? At the end of the day, my primary concern is just Eagles playing Eagles football. And that means using the run-pass option that Jalen presents. Yes, I know he's coming from a concussion. Leaning heavily on the run game, because regardless of the fact that people expect it, the reality is we have a all-pro offensive line where literally every one of them should have been in the Pro Bowl. That's another argument for another day. And if they lean into their strengths, we'll win that game. It won't be the type of game that will blow anyone out, but at no point should we feel threatened as long as we play our game. So I'm very confident that Philadelphia wins that matchup. I really like Green Bay. I think I started out the season saying to you that the young quarterback was someone I see as an MVP candidate, making a big turn as far as just his career. He's not looked good. He has his own nicks himself. I think somehow coming against this Philadelphia team which seems motivated to really take grasp of this opportunity. It's a bad situation for them, and we'll really put a hurting on them in that matchup and win that game.
Remy, are you tempted to take up Green Bay Packers team that can be very dangerous? We know Jordan Love is a streaky quarterback. We know the talent that the Green Bay Packers have. Any temptation here to go down upset?
I'll tell you this. I think the Philadelphia Eagles should be on upset alert. And this has been the hardest game for me to pick this week because there's so many variables on both sides. And I mean, you guys did a really good job of outlining them. Jalen Hurts being in concussion protocol and just clearing is a red flag for me. He hasn't played since he got knocked out early in week 16 against Washington. So he really hasn't played a full game since week 15. The Packers defense is actually one of those that's been flying below the radar. They're very good against the run. they're not allowing 100 yards. And I don't know if you guys remember, but in both games against Detroit, they were able to contain Detroit's monster offensive line and running game. And they hung in there against the Vikings as well. So even though they lost both games to Detroit and Minnesota, they have held their ground against two very physical teams, arguably the two best teams in the conference. So I can see a scenario where it is very possible that the Packers could win this game. I think Josh Jacobs is going to be a problem for Philly. I am not sure how Jalen Hurts is going to play. I am going to lean into Philly barely winning this game. I think it's going to be a defensive
Don't do it,
game.
don't do it, Remy. Don't do it, man. Go with your gut, man.
You can hear it in my voice. I know.
Go with your gut, man.
But I will tell you, if I pick Green Bay, it's purely for selfish reasons. In the event that Washington win, I don't want Washington to go to Detroit. Make Green Bay go and deal with them again, right? So it's one of those things where I still really haven't fully made up my mind. But I mean, I would tell the listening public, Philly at home with Philly defense is real, but I also like Matt LaFleur. And Jordan Love injured to his elbow and him have a little Brett Favre in him. This game is going to come down to the fourth quarter. This is going to be arguably the closest game of the weekend.
Yeah, I know Paul is not entertaining it at all. You know, he's drinking that green Kool-Aid in Pennsylvania. He's not entertaining an upset at all. I like you, Remy, are having, you know, second and third and fourth thoughts about this game. I don't trust this Philadelphia team. Before the season, I told you guys the Philadelphia Eagles were not making the playoffs, and I was dead wrong about that. I told you guys Saquon Barkley is not that good. I was dead wrong about that. And I may be dead wrong about this as well. But I want to pick the Green Bay Packers. I really want to pick the Green Bay Packers.
What's stopping you from doing it? Just do it.
I'm fourth in the picks, and I'm trying to move up.
Therefore, you have to pick the Packers.
No,
Come on, Jerome. We've been through this.
I want to, but I think Pittsburgh is I think Eagles are the healthier team. I think they're the more rested team. I think against the hierarchy of the NFC, the Green Bay Packers are 1-5. You know, after losing to Philly week 1 in Mexico, I don't think there's a lot you can take away from a game week 1 in Mexico. But they are familiar with each other. I think both teams are at a different place right now. I think the game is going to be close, and I would not be surprised if Jordan Love light them up. But you know, the loss of Christian Watson is a problem for the Green Bay Packers. If Christian Watson was playing, maybe I'd go with the Green Bay Packers. But with Christian Watson being out, I think a lot will be placed on Jordan Love's shoulder, and I just don't think his elbow can hold up. I want to pick Green Bay just to make Paul sweat, but
do it, Jerome. Just do it, man.
but I can't.
Okay.
I can't.
I mean, you notice how quiet I am. I mean,
because you're nervous. You're nervous. That's why you're so quiet. You're nervous.
I'm nervous. This is going to be a good game. This Green Bay team is a team that I've always said, literally from the beginning of this season, I expect them not only to make the playoffs, I thought they would be the NFC representative to go to the Super Bowl, right? But I didn't see this Philadelphia team coming together the way they have under Nick Sirianni. I didn't see Nick Sirianni going to an entire season and not being the problem. In some cases, one has to pat him on his back for his job, not only as a coach, but as a leader in that locker room. And at the end of the day, if we play our football, I don't have no concerns. I don't have any issues. It's not going to be easy. These games aren't supposed to be easy. It's one and done. You're going home. You want to get that Super Bowl, you're literally going to have to, at home, shut the door on Jordan Love. Get to the quarterback, let him make mistakes, get turnovers, and commit to who you are, which is playing smash mouth football and running it down people's throats.
Well, let's see. I don't associate the Philadelphia Eagles with smash mouth football. Well, hey, that's just me. I think the Eagles are pretty boys, but that's just me. That's just me. That's just me.
Number one rushing offense in the league, a pretty boy.
Just because of Saquon Barkley.
Oh, okay, so nobody don't block for him.
In what could be the most competitive game of the weekend, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers host the Washington Commanders. I know. Remy probably think this is not an easy game for the Commanders, but don't play with that Tampa Bay Buccaneers team. They play well. They're 4-time back to back division champions, and they're in the playoffs for a reason. Let me start with you, Paul. I know you have to go quickly. Any thoughts on this game? Who you have winning this game and why?
Yeah, this is a tough game to pick. And historically, these two teams have a lot of history against each other in the playoffs. And I know Remy is there sitting down and thinking to himself, boy, Paul hit the nail on the head. You go back to the Brad Johnson years playing against Tampa Bay. You remember literally some of how those games come down to last plays. And this is literally what I expect to happen with this matchup. But at the end of the day, that young rookie quarterback, Jalen Daniels, to me, I think is the game changer here. Tampa Bay is going to do what Tampa Bay does defensively, and that's blitz you. Try to get you off your spot. Try to essentially move you out of the pocket. The problem is Jalen Daniels is the one quarterback with the highest QBR when he is blitzed. And I think that plays right to the strength of the Washington offense. The issue that I have is Baker Mayfield and his wide receiver core, especially with Evans going against Lattimore. We know those guys don't like each other, and I expect that to be electric. Who has the ball last, who can make the least amount of mistakes will win this game, but more so, how committed is Washington to allowing Jalen Daniels to be Jalen Daniels and not lock him up and just stick to a run game. But I expect the Commanders to win this in a very, very, very entertaining matchup.
Let me go for Remy, because I know Remy is chopping at the bits to go. But for me, Tampa is playing at home. Tampa is they had to play to get in. I mean, they didn't afford to rest anybody. I mean, I thought that last play that they got Mike Evans that 1,000 yard, that's the stuff that just raised the hair on your back. And I think that kind of camaraderie within a locker room is what's gonna take them over the top. You talk about X factor, and Baker Mayfield's legs has become an X factor in the last few games. Where when the play broke down, I think Baker ran for like 80 yards last week. You don't think of Baker Mayfield as a running quarterback, but he had to run some last week, and I think his legs have gotten them out of a lot of trouble. Give me Tampa in the game. I think they're playing at home. I think they're playing with a lot of confidence. I think this Washington team is overrated. They've lost 5 games for a reason, and they could have lost to the Chicago Bears if it wasn't a Hail Mary. They are overrated. I don't think they belong in the playoffs. I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are a better team, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will win this game. Go ahead, Remy.
I'm sorry, you just made me laugh. Yo, Jerome, I love you, man. I really do. Thank you for that, man.
They're overrated. They shouldn't be. They don't belong in the playoff. If it wasn't a Hail Mary, if it wasn't for that Hail Mary, they wouldn't be in the playoff. They would not be in the playoffs. But go, let's.
So the Hail Mary, that's one win. So they're 12-5. In case you forgot, they're not 9-8. They're not 8-9. They're 12-5. But if you want to stick with that, fine. Here is how I see this game. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think both teams are going to put points on the board. Tampa, surprisingly, has the 29th ranked defense against the pass. And, I think Washington and Jalen Daniels are poised to take full advantage of that. You're not going to run it against them. I mean, I think they're pretty stout against the run, especially with
Vita
that stud they have in the middle of Vita Vea. He is key to their whole run defense. Baker Mayfield and company, I think that the Buccaneers overall is one of those teams that have flown below the radar. They do have some high-quality wins. I mean, they beat Philly early in the season. They beat the Detroit Lions, and they beat the Chargers a few weeks ago. And, they had to, they really had to play to get into the playoffs. That being said, I think that this game is really a coin flip. I just think that the way Washington has played this year in all these close games, a lot of close games, I expect this to be another one of those. Being an underdog, tight game, doesn't faze Washington, just another game for them. I think both teams score in the 30s. I'm going to say Commanders 34 Tampa 31.
You're not biased at all. Not biased at all.
I never said I wasn't. Never said I wasn't.
But I think another little chink in the armor. Baker Mayfield was snubbed from the Pro Bowl because of Jaden Daniels. And if you know anything about Baker Mayfield, you know that Baker Mayfield carries a grudge. And, both quarterbacks will be on the field at the same time. Baker Mayfield has thrown over 40 touchdown passes this season, not make the Pro Bowl. And this is a rookie, hype up himself, coming in my house, try and beat me. Baker Mayfield's going to put on a show. I wouldn't be surprised if Baker Mayfield throw for 500 yards in this game and show Jaden Daniels who's boss.
That's not going to happen. I mean, remember, these teams played in week 1. And Tampa won 37-20 when Washington had no clue who or what they were. Our quarterback just born that day. Now he's walking around speaking full sentences and running. Right? So Tampa, what Tampa saw in week 1 and what they're going to see tomorrow night is a completely different version of Washington. Not to mention the defense has gelled, and we'll have Marshawn Lattimore to match up against Mike Evans. So I expect Baker to do his thing, because Baker has been phenomenal this year. But this is going to be a close game, and I think a close game, a nail-biting type of game, advantage Washington Commanders.
Why? Because you're going to get another Hail Mary? That's not going to happen.
No. We had one Hail Mary. We had one. Remember, 12-5. What's the Bucs record again?
It doesn't matter. Who is hosting the playoff game? Who's the division champion? Who's the division champion? You play in a weak division. You play against the Cowboys. Come on. You play the Cowboys and the Giants. Come on.
The Cowboys who beat Tampa.
Come on. Let's go in the final game of the week. The Minnesota Vikings.
Tampa. Thank you, Jerome. Thank you for reminding me about that.
The Minnesota Vikings travel to Los Angeles to take on the Rams. The game is actually not being played in Los Angeles because of these horrible fires that are happening in Los Angeles areas. Prayers going on to the Los Angeles area. The game is actually going to be played in Arizona, where the Rams are going to be the home team. You can't think that their minds are 100% on football right now. This for me is a very tricky game. A lot of these players will have families that are being impacted, relatives that are being impacted. It's just a crazy situation that's happening in Los Angeles. The game being moved to Arizona, Paul. I know you have to run quickly. Is this advantage Minnesota? And is it if it's advantage Minnesota? Did you have Minnesota winning the game even if the game was being played in Los Angeles?
So let me first address the whole issue of advantages. I think football players have this uncanny ability to compartmentalize emotions and feelings. And despite the terrible things that are happening right now in that area in Los Angeles, I think they'll go out there and they'll perform. They'll play a football game. But you said something earlier, which I think it does have some validity to it. I mean, these are individuals and their families that are being impacted. Your homes, yes, they're multimillionaires, many of them, but you have the loss of certain things of sentimental value that you can't put a dollar value on. And you just don't know if everybody will be locked in. That being said, this is a Rams team that is extremely talented. They're well coached. I think that offense has come into its own, and particularly in the last 6 games of this season, it's one of the hottest offenses out there. Matt Stafford is a Super Bowl winner. I think they're going to be able to put up points against Minnesota's defense as well as they play, because I think Flores right now he's predictable. He's predictable with all of the switches and the flips that he makes and the movement. He looks predictable. That being said, I don't think Sam Darnold will do what he did in Detroit. I think Jefferson will get the ball, and they don't have an answer for Jefferson as far as stopping him from dominating. I expect an electric game. I expect a lot of points, and I am going to be going with Minnesota in this, literally by a field goal.
Wow. Remy, we saw Sam Darnold come down to earth last week in Detroit. I know you guys were wrong. We're Paul and Remy were wrong. Last week, you guys both went with Minnesota. I was the only one on this program that said Detroit would have won.
You picked the 15.
No. Don't bother go there. Don't even bother go there.
You want to beat your chest.
Don't even bother go there. You both picked Minnesota to beat the Detroit Lions. I picked the Detroit Lions. So where Jerome was right.
And you are
the
beating
the did the Detroit Lions give the blueprint as to how to the Rams should go up against Sam Darnold in this game, and do you still think the Minnesota team? Do you think that Minnesota team got exposed last week?
That's me or Remy?
Remy.
All right. Your first question: Do I think that the Lions laid the blueprint on how to take on the Vikings? Absolutely. I think the Vikings definitely got exposed. I think from Sam Darnold's play was poor for all of us to see. I mean, he was constantly under siege. But I think what was even more embarrassing was the Vikings coaching staff, their inability to make adjustments to handle the blitz. I couldn't understand why we didn't see any screen passes. We didn't see any slants. They didn't try to get the ball out of Sam Darnold's hands quickly. They were still going off of the play action, long developing plays, trying to hit Jefferson and Addison down the field. And obviously it didn't work. Now, I think that the Vikings were kind of feeling themselves. You know, they were playing for the number 1 seed. And they got their behinds kicked, and I think it will serve them well. I know that the Rams are going to come out and try and do the same thing, and this time I'm going to give the Vikings and potential coach of the year, Kevin O'Connell, the benefit of the doubt, that they'll be ready for a blitz-happy scheme from the Los Angeles Rams, and that is how they're going to win the game, by countering it, because the Rams' defensive front is good. I mean, they have 2 very good rookies, but I think that the Vikings, are the more talented team on both sides of the ball. I am not sure that Matthew Stafford will be able to survive Brian Flores' scheme. I mean, Stafford is a statue. Remember, these 2 teams played earlier in the year.
He's a Super Bowl winning statue.
Right. Yes, he is. Well, he wasn't a statue when he won the Super Bowl. No, he is. Right. So I'm going to go with the Vikings in this one, just on their pedigree. I think the coaching staff is slightly better. I love Sean McVay, love what he has done in LA with the Rams. Great coach. But I think the Vikings have a better combination of coaching and talent. And I think, I agree with Paul, I think they'll win this by a field goal.
So I have good history when both of you pick the Minnesota Vikings, right? I am 1-0.
All these recent history.
I'm 1-0. I'm 1-0 whenever you guys. I'm 1-0 whenever you guys pick the Minnesota Vikings together, and I'll be 2-0 next week because I'll be 2-0 next week. And the reason why I'm a little hesitant about making this pick is because of everything that's happening. I think the Rams have the worst home field advantage in football. I mean, the Rams stadium is usually half the stadium is usually other teams' fans.
Very true.
They moving the game to Arizona, given everything that's happening in LA right now, I don't think there's gonna be 500 Rams fans in the stands. The Minnesota, I believe, they travel better. They're gonna get their supporters in Arizona as quickly as possible. And the game is gonna be. I mean, the Minnesota Vikings. They are used to playing indoors. They're comfortable in a dome stadium. So all of those things favors the Minnesota Vikings. What's not in the favor of Minnesota Vikings is Sam Darnold, and Sam Darnold for the last 7 years has been a bust. We've seen him for 15 games, 16 games. We've seen him for 15 games look good. And we saw who Sam Darnold really was last week. And that who Sam Darnold is: wide open receivers being missed, unable to make simple grade 7 throws. That's who Sam Darnold is. And that's the real Sam Darnold that was standing up last week. And he'll stand up again tomorrow. And if you ask me to choose between Matt Stafford and Sam Darnold, come on. That's asking me
favorite again. While Remy and I are picking who's not the favorite.
No. You guys are right. You guys can pick whoever you want to pick. But all I'm saying is,
if you don't move up from 4th, Jerome, you know why.
No.
Good night, sir.
The NFL this year has been very, 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 lenient to favorites. The favorites have dominated all year, and this is not the time to make bold predictions.
and yet you're still fourth.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine because I went out of the box sometimes. But
Your statistics
but
not
this week,
work here, brother.
but this week, the Los Angeles Rams, I believe they'll be inspired to play well. They'll be motivated to play well. They're healthier.
Because they're praying for it.
They're healthier. Puka Nakua is healthy. Cooper Kupp is healthy. That Rams defense is healthy. Matthew Stafford is healthy. They're well rested. They haven't played in 2 weeks. The Rams are the better team, and the Rams is going to show.
Defensive line on the Rams, Jerome. Just for the listeners. Tell me 2 defensive linemen on the Rams.
The no-name defensive line. They're the no-name defense. The new no-name defense.
That's what I thought. All right. Okay.
All right.
Continue.
But all I'm saying is the Rams are going to win. The Rams are going to win, and you guys are going to come back next week and say where Jerome was right. That's all I'm saying.
Right out of your mind, that's what it is.
That's all I'm saying. But anyway, just to give an update on the Texans versus the Chargers. The scores are 19-6. The Houston Texans are actually pulling away. 13 seconds left in the fourth quarter. The Houston Texans has just scored a touchdown. Justin Herbert actually threw a pick six. For heading in the opposite direction. So where Jerome was wrong already, and the week don't even started, the week don't finish it. The Houston Texans are about to host the Los Angeles Chargers. How surprised are you here, Paul, with this scoreline?
I'm surprised. I think for Justin Herbert, this is a referendum on his career. It's your performances in the playoff not being the reason why your team can win, but even more so with that pick six being the reason why you're losing. For all of the talent this young man have at 6'6", rocket arm, not being able to make smart decisions and literally putting your team in a deficit as such. When you are the favorite, I think I have to reconsider my thoughts on him as one of the top 15 quarterbacks in this league.
I mean, you also have to think about what he's working with. He doesn't have a lot of wide receivers working with. I mean, he took I think he's to make the playoff with the receiving core that he has is a significant achievement. I mean, he's playing with nobody.
In the years when he had talent, he made this decision. Don't forget the Jaguars came back against these guys when they had almost like literally a 21-point lead.
27. It was 27, Paul. It was 27 to nothing.
27. Yes, the coach was a complete doof, but you're the quarterback. You have all this talent. You have all those weapons at the time. Do something. Yeah. And he was a part of turning over the ball. And I know I sound upset because it's not really my team. But this is a young man coming out of college in Oregon that I loved all of the intangibles about him. And now that he has a head coach that is literally considered a quarterback whisperer, what you doing? If I'm looking at the screen now, if you saw the pick six that the man just told the man mail the ball into the defender's hand, it was disgusting. Pack him up, yo.
How do you really feel, though? I mean, but Remy, I mean, I know you said that you had the Houston Texans winning this game. I'm sure you're surprised at the relative ease at which they're running away with this one, though.
Well, I didn't expect the deficit. I mean, it's going to be what, the 13 point?
14 no.
14, or 20 to 6. I didn't expect that. I mean, am I surprised the Texans won? No, because they're at home. And the Chargers are by no means an offensive juggernaut. And you made a good point. I mean, they don't necessarily have the best talent at receiver, but I think that is something they'll address in the draft and the offseason. But, the interception by Herbert, I mean, that's been one of the knocks on him, that he will make that throw when the team needed.
Well, he hasn't done that all year. He has 4 interceptions all year. He hasn't turned over the ball all year.
What I'm saying is, because most of the games have gone according to a certain script, when he is put in this position, then this is what can happen. I mean, and I love Justin Herbert. Okay, but what I'm saying is, this is something that he has to improve on and has to shake. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Again, this is. Whosoever comes out of this game is really appetizer for the the Kansas City Chiefs, because none of these two teams are beating the Kansas City Chiefs anyway. So
you never know.
Yeah, this is not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. None of these two teams are going into our head and coming out with a double. But anyway, the all pro teams, let's talk a little bit about coaching. I mean, we have 6 head coaching vacancies that are currently out. You know, we saw some firings last week where Gerard Mayer was fired, Pierce was fired, who else? Doug Peterson was fired. You know, a lot of these teams are searching for coaches. The Patriots are closing in on Mike Vrabel, Paul. I know you say you had to go. I don't know if you're right, Richard. But
I'm late.
In your mind, is Mike Vrabel the answer to the New England Patriots?
That's a tough question to answer. I'll say this much: he knows the team. He has history and connection with them being a player. He's been a successful NFL coach who's proven that he can coach a team and can lead men. And I think all of those adjacent points makes him a very high caliber candidate for that team. But they really have a lot of work to do in the draft. They really have a lot of work to do with personnel. I think they have the quarterback of the future. That defense is stupid and ridiculous. That offense needs weapons. And he's going to have to take pretty much the same approach that Harbaugh is taking right now in the Chargers, and find ways to win football games without having supreme talent. But I think if he gets the job, he would be a great candidate for it.
Yeah, I don't get why you fired Gerard Mayer to hire Mike Vrabel. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. You're going right back to the Bill Belichick coaching tree. It's you're doing nothing different in a league where
I'm sorry, Jerome. I'm confused. When did Mike Vrabel coach under Bill Belichick?
He played under Bill Belichick his whole career.
No, but that's not the same thing.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's just meaning he's from the Bill Belichick school. Let me, since it's not a coaching tree, since you're gonna be technical, he's from the Bill Belichick school.
No, he can't be from the Bill Belichick school when it comes to coaching. If you play for the man, that's two different things, Jerome.
We mean. He's from the Patriots way. Mike Vrabel is one of those players that created the Patriots way. Mike Vrabel, Teddy Bruschi, Richard Seymour, Lawyer Malloy. That's the core of the Patriots way.
And this used to be a team.
And Mike Vrabel is at the core of that, right? So you moving away from Gerard Mayo to Mike Vrabel, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. How is it helping your young quarterback to develop? Where has Mike Vrabel shown the ability to develop a quarterback? He had Ryan Tannehill for about 5 years or 4 years. Ryan Tannehill was the same Ryan Tannehill he was in Miami. Nothing changed. Why are you bringing in another defensive minded head coach when your team clearly lacks offensive fireworks? It just makes no sense to me. It makes absolutely no sense to me. But I understand why the Ben Johnsons of the world and Aaron Gordons of the world has turned down interviews with the New England Patriots, because they don't see where the team is going. And I really...
First of all, Aaron Gordon is a Jet. He would never coach the New England Patriots. He's a Jet. That man not going to go there.
Sure, go.
I said that too. But Jerome, let me just say something.
Yeah, man, go ahead.
It is clear that you have bought into the idea that a defensive-minded head coach cannot develop a quarterback, which is not true. It all depends on who is his OC, because at the end of the day, right, unless you are a Sean McVay, a Kevin O'Connell, a Kyle Shanahan, or Andy Reid, it's going to be offensive coordinator that is working with your quarterback.
Yeah, but you're missing a whole part of other names.
Hold on. When you have a head coach first and foremost, sees the overall team. So whether in background is from defense or special teams or offense, he's overseeing the team. And then he has to build a competent staff, right? And he has to hire good coaches, especially if you're talking quarterback coach and offensive coordinator. So and a defensive coach can do that.
Remy, you're picking low-hanging fruit. You're picking low-hanging fruit. All I'm saying, it is low-hanging fruit. What's
it's about the staff.
Show me the defensive coach right now. Show me the defensive coach right now.
He's a defensive coach, and Jaden Daniels is going to win Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, but he He has a head coach working with. He has a head coach.
No, he has Cliff Kingsbury. Cliff
King-
Kingsbury is OC.
Cliff Kingsbury was a head coach in the NFL.
He's his OC.
Cliff Kingsbury was a head coach.
No, Jerome, that's a non-point.
What do you mean
Whether
it's a
you're head
non-point?
coach or not, he's hired as an offensive coordinator. Because
He's
as
head
a
coaching.
coach, that is who you're putting
He
together.
has head coaching
Which
experience.
does not matter when you are
What do you mean
working
it doesn't matter?
specifically with the offense.
What do you mean it doesn't matter?
That's not it. No.
Anyway, we see what happening with Mike Tomlin, and we see what happened with Pete Carroll, and we see what happened with Eberflus. We see what happened with all these defensive coaches
Failed in hiring a good offensive coordinator.
because
So
they
you're
have blind
making my
spots.
point.
They have blind spots, just like Bill Belichick over the years. They have blind spots to offense, and we see
been to 10 Super Bowls and win of 6 as a head coach.
how much without Tom Brady. How much without Tom Brady?
It doesn't matter, Jerome.
I get the wrap up signal
It
from
doesn't matter because
Ali.
If you're gonna turn this into a Brady versus Belichick thing,
We all know how that ended.
the listeners.
We know how
No,
that
because
ended.
You cannot
Defensive
separate offense
coaches
from
with the
defense.
great
Okay,
quarterback
so-
play. John Harbaugh, Mike Tomlin,
Come on, man.
Mike Tomlin when he had Ben Roethlisberger, Tony Dungy.
John Harbaugh was a special teams coach.
Dan Campbell right now, who's a defensive
He
coach.
played tight end. He played tight end.
Reggie, the man is a defensive coach.
He played tight end. How can you be a defensive coach when he played offense? Come on.
Stefanski played safety, and he's an offensive coach.
And you see what's happening with the team. You see what's happening with the Cleveland Browns. You see what happened with the Cleveland Browns. You're using Kevin Stefanski as an example. Come on. Don't embarrass yourself on national radio.
Year, Kevin Stefanski, by the way.
Please.
So let's
Everybody
not
get,
pretend
how
that
many coach of the year? How many coach of the year Andy Reid have? How many coach of the year Bill Belichick have? Come on. You know coach of the year is foolishness. You know coach of the year is foolishness. Come on. Don't do that.
Okay, so
Don't do that.
you're making up stuff. Okay.
Don't do that. But anyway, I'll give him the wrap up signal.
I reckon you should have given it a while ago. Jerome went off the rails here.
Anyway, we'll be back with more on Sports Nation Live.
Is this real? Hey, Greg, come look at this. Oh my, it's happening. Mr. Daniels, the numbers keep getting bigger and bigger.
Sir, the clicks are off the charts.
Hello, sales? What's the emergency? 9,000 clicks in one day? 3,000 order? So how much we have left? What? I soon call you back. Mr. Nakamoto, it's Danny from Jamaica. I need 5,000 of the big ones. We're back in business.
Yes, sir. Arigato. Suene. Amplify your brand. Let Nationwide 90 FM assist you in tapping into a captivated audience across our social media platforms. For more information, contact us at 876-630-1210 or sales@nationwidenewsnetwork.com. Businesses, companies, and entrepreneurs, let's supercharge your brand.
Are you ready for it?
Revo. Coming soon.
Okay, good evening. Welcome back to Sports Nation Live. I'm Alex Saber working with Kevin Williams. We dive into the pool now for our splash segment, where the high school swim meet is coming up later this month. And with us to tell us more is national coach Gillian Millwood. And we'll also hear from one of Trinidad and Tobago's rising stars, Liam Carrington. Lady and gentlemen, good evening. Welcome to the show.
Hi guys.
Good evening.
Good evening. Okay, let me start with you, Gillian. The high school season is up on us. Tell us, it's later this month. tell us when and what to expect.
All right. Well, we have 3 of these, special meets. They're for championship meets coming up in this term. The first term, schools are getting the opportunity to spend time building the teams, and now we're in competition mode. January 24 is the ISA swim meet. That's all day. Not heats and finals, but timed finals. The top schools are coming out, and we're hoping to see some newer schools building their programs. We observed Ardennes High School last year, building up the numbers, building up the quality of the kids that they have. Alpha Girls has been coming out to the stadium on a weekday morning. We're hoping St. Hughes, since the ISA principal of swimming is from St. Hughes, we're looking out for them as well as the Queen's School to join schools like Campion College, Immaculate, Hillel, Wolmer's Girls and Boys, and the St. Andrews Girls School, along with KC and St. George's. Hopefully they're not hindered by exams at school. Similar thing, I hear Arden has exams, so I hope that doesn't conflict too much with their participation.
Right.
After that, we have the ASAJ, that's the championships, where that's now a solid championships, heats and finals, that is slated for the final weekend of February. And then the Mayberry Classic, they changed the name, it's no longer swim meet or championships. There's a Mayberry Swim Classic. The high school meet is on the 21st, so we're looking out for those 3 this term.
Right. And tell me, are you seeing more high schools coming on board and being a part of this championship?
I think throughout the term, yes. As we have coaches increasing the education, as persons seeing coaching as a viable employment opportunity, a viable profession. In previous times, before you heard about, coaches seminars, coaches certification, like the ASCA one, levels 1 to 3, that the ACJ is subsidizing for coaches to come out and get their certification in for the first week of February at the National Aquatic Center. So, before, people were paying attention to this, especially because we don't have official certification at home here in Jamaica. We have to get it from international bodies. It really wasn't seen as a profession, but now that we're seeing it, PE teachers are getting certified and branching out into swimming more, from learn to swim into building teams for competitive swimming. Like I said, we haven't seen St. Hughes in a while, for example, but we're looking for them. Alpha has been growing. The Queen's School took a break, but they came back in last year.
Right.
All being well with GC Foster setting up their pool. Hopefully we can have GC Foster competing in, the university section. Good, as well as schools like Jago, since we have schools like Cornwall College from Mobay. We have schools like Fairfield Academy from Mobay competing. So all being well, we can broaden the spectrum of which high schools are involved and spread the swimming bug.
Right. And you mentioned GC Foster, you hope to see them because in the tertiary section, it's normally a few schools, University of Technology and the University of the West Indies. What is it the lack of a school space or school time why the other universities aren't and colleges aren't being campaigning in this championship?
Yeah, it's unfortunately, swimming is hindered by that. Quite frankly, the Mobay people have turned that on its head, right? They'll train at Doctor's Cave or other beaches in Trelawney and then come over and be spectacular in the 50-meter and 25-meter pools. So, and many of them, national age group record holder and who was at the World Short Course Champs for us, Leanna Wainwright, she's born out of the Mobay program. So it shouldn't be a hindrance, but of course, when you start to get to, schools in the rural areas, far away from the coast, so that's a GC Foster. We're hoping to see schools like Michael as well, but, facility, whether the actual groundbreaking of it, the installation of the pools, or even just the upkeep, those things tend to be a huge hindrance to the development and their participation
also, I think, the lack of scholarships. I know that there's scholarships out there, but, swimming really isn't incentivized at the collegiate level. So in Jamaica, at least, everybody knows. And as you're going to talk to Liam there, you'll hear how greatly incentivized it is, abroad, whether it's in England or the U.S. or even South America. So what we have, unfortunately, and I hope schools like UTEC and UE go back to truly incentivizing swimming as they do with track and field, as they do with football. One of my assistant coaches, Zachary Johnson, he has a football scholarship at UTEC. But if they had a long-standing or a tradition of giving out swimming scholarships, he'd be on board. Right? So, and of course, the lack of competition. So there's going to need to be, we haven't had a UE Games, for example, since, I think it's before COVID, a little before COVID, 2019, something like that. So that draw, sure. If I apply and tell them, look, I'm an amazing swimmer, I swam for my country, how I still want to, carry the brand of a local university abroad and compete. So those are some gaps that are easy to fill. And I hope that we get to that. But again, it's the access to the pools and then the drive of the program. So those things, and we can get a good college program happening.
Right. Let me bring Liam in here. Liam, not a lot of Jamaicans would be familiar with you. So just take a few minutes to introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Liam Carrington. I'm 16. I'm from Trinidad and Tobago, San Fernando. I'm actually training in Jacksonville, Florida, at the Bowl School. Will be my second year here. I left Trinidad when I was 15. So I've been training here for 2 years, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Right. And Liam, you would have heard Gillian speaking about the incentivization of sports, college sports. Have yourself and the other Caribbean swimmers and athletes on a whole been able to take advantage of this?
So like college swimming in the US comes with great benefits, like athletic scholarships and the training facilities and how they organize their systems. They're big meets and meets throughout the year, dual meets, quad meets, those kind of things. And the big meet, NCAA's championships, and that gives you opportunities and exposure to professional opportunities. And plus the schools offer academic support and resources to help the athlete balance their studies and sports while preparing for their future.
Right. But let's go back to your time in Trinidad and Tobago a bit. You would have trained with Christian Homer and then Maurice Faria and Joseph McLeod at the Marlins. Tell me, what was it like training first with Christian and then with Maurice and Joseph?
So training back home, it's different compared to here because I live on campus, so I just get up and I could go to the pool which is 2 minutes away. So back home, my parents would drive me to practice. So with Coach Christian, I was still 14, I believe. I trained with him since I was, I believe, 12. So about 2 to 3 years. So with him, I really liked how training sessions would be with him and the type of specific work he would do with the athletes on the team. Moving on to Coach Maurice and Mr. McLeod, I moved there after I was with Coach Christian. I used to train short course meters with Coach Christian, but moving to Coach McLeod and Coach Maurice, I swam long course, and I would train with Nikolai Blackman and Zachary Anthony, sorry. So that was, I had a lot of fun training with them, racing them every day, and I think that really helped me to get where I am.
Right. Those are standout swimmers in Trinidad and Tobago. Tell me, how much would that have helped your swimming training with world beaters, so to speak, Caribbean, Carif the champions?
Yes, training with them, it's it helps you train better because, like for me, at least me, I don't train that well when I'm by myself. Yes, I do the work, but when I have someone to race like every single day, or like someone who's I know is like faster than me, and I have to like run them down the entire practice, I just train much better, and I've realized that I get much better, real like much faster, and it's just something that my parents would say that I just have that like fight in me to go and get someone. Like
Right.
I don't like losing.
Right. Tell me, what was the motivation behind the decision to move from Trinidad and Tobago to the U.S. to Bowls?
So I got the opportunity to attend the bowl school, and it was a really great opportunity to come to the US, even though I was like young and so on, and like I would have to live by myself here. My parents thought it would be really a really good opportunity to get to get here, to get the exposure. Exposure was a big thing on their minds, even though that I would be away from my family for long periods of time. They thought that this would be the best option for me to grow even as a person as well.
Right, let me come back to you, Gillian. I see the Hisa High School and the tertiary institution swimming championships. When we look at ISA run competitions for football, track and field, basketball, it's public schools against public school. But in swimming, it's a mix of public and private school. You think this has enhanced the quality of swimming at these championships?
I think for the competitive ones, those are, who are already at the national level, certainly, because they use these school meets as qualifying opportunities for bigger meets. It's kind of difficult, especially with how they've reduced the numbers in this new summons, to truly get, especially those schools that have pools, to truly get, the development part of their programs happening and exposed. So there's going to be some real juggling this time around. But before, yes, it has done a good job of, when you have the inclusiveness of a Hillel and a Fairfield and a AISK, it does add to it. It adds to the difference. Would love to see more schools in terms of, getting the development, more public schools at that. Like I mentioned before, you have the rural schools, those outer town schools that, whether they're by a beach or they have access to some small hotel pool or, pool in a complex, because a lot of complexes are going up in those country areas now.
Right.
So, yeah, really good. We're hoping for more. Usually swimming is seen as more of a social activity in the private school sector, but we see where a number of kids from prep schools are now going to public prep schools, or no, not public prep schools, but the well-known prep schools that are going to those private schools now for whatever reason, and are expanding the vibe, the hunger of competitive swimming to those schools and bringing it to these champs.
Right. Last year, Immaculate Conception, they came out on top in the girls section with Campion second, while in the boys section it was Campion over Wolmer's. Tell me, will the battle again be between Campion and Immaculate in the girls section, and the same with Wolmer's and Campion in the boys section?
Well, that's the result I'm hoping for. It's all about what the kids bring on the day. Things like we don't have as many reserves to rest our faster ones this time around based on the ISA rules. So that is that's gonna really, really test our swimmers this time around. They're allowed to do more events, but they're not gonna be as rested. So the challenge is up at this meet. We're gonna face some faster kids, especially the girls who, they're going to Wolmer's because the brother is at Wolmer's Boys, or their cousin goes to Wolmer's, or it's closer to where mom works at the Ministry of Labor, or whatever. We'll have a few quicker girls at St. Andrews. some quicker girls at Hillel as well who decided not to go into the public school system, but to go private. I think AISK has another girl that's going to pull up some stuff. So I think the points are going to be spread out a bit more this time around. Making it tighter, I hope, in terms of the point standings as well as the racing. I'm looking forward to that for the girls. The boys, a similar situation. We have a good 12 and under 17 and over set. In the middle, the 15-16, Wolmer's has a good set of 15-16s. 13-14, those are quite spread. So I'm really looking forward. I think Hillel has a good 13-14 guy. JC looking out for Reese Hunter with that in the 13-14 age group. So it's going to be a pretty good showing, I think, across the board. But, of course, the goal is always whether to sustain last year's results or to improve on them. That's our plan. That's the aim.
I don't remember it being the ISA high school and tertiary. Tell us, when did ISA endorse this meet, and what sort of an impact it has had on the meet with the endorsement of ISA?
I mean, it's been ISA, since I've been in high school, so that's over 20 years. Even our head of sports department at Camden, Brian Philpotts Brown, he is always recalling and trying to, get the principles of ISA to bring back the heats and finals format of ISA Champs, which is, what they do with track as well. Track is a 4 to 5 day setup. Swimming used to be 3 days of competition. You'd have heats on the Thursday, semis on the Friday, and then finals on the Saturday. That used to be the format. Not sure what happened over those next 20, 30 years in terms of the format or their input, but it has moved away from that tournament format, of that investment in the lead-up events to a championships. So it's really just become a swim meet. I think the brand name ISA puts the anticipation on it in terms of, for it to be a great meet, a great showing, a prestigious prize to win at the end of that Friday afternoon when all the events are swum, the final 17 and over boys relay is done, and all the points are tallied on that day. We're actually hoping for some more input from them in terms of the development side, as opposed to just putting on a one meet at the first part of the year, to push the development the way, they've invested in track and field in terms of probably not money-wise, but brand-wise, and saying, this is it's a qualifier. It's a boys and girls champs qualifier. The way they invest in Manning Cup, we probably won't get that, but it would help. It would go a far way for that level of investment. We can rotate athletes through, and we can say that this person participated in ISA tournaments. It builds up the resume, because, of course, that is, one of the top aims for our secondary school athletes, right? To pivot, to platform, to springboard onto the next level, tertiary. So whether it's at UTT in Trinidad, or it's whether the different branches of UE, UTEC, wherever you're going, it boosts up the resume. So we're hoping for some more. Like we said, the ISA meet has been on the calendar for a whole heap of years now, minimum since I've been swimming. So it's been there. It's just now, there's so much potential for it to go further.
All right. Let me come back to you, Liam. Tell me, how have you been able to manage your nerves competing at a high level regularly at bowls?
It's always, for me, before a race, I always get worked up. Like, my heart starts racing, and sometimes it's overwhelming, but I just know that I put in the work and it's all going to be fine. When I get in the water, I just don't think about anything else. Sometimes I don't even think about the race. I just do it. Like, I know I've done it so many times in practice and trained so many times doing those reps. I just know that I can do it, and it doesn't really show there's certain events I'll be like, I don't want to swim this now. But once I get in the pool, I'll just swim it. And it doesn't for me, I am pretty well managed. Once I get in the pool, outside the pool, I may freak out a little bit, but not too badly.
Right. And Liam, you have several records already at bowls. Tell me what's motivated you so much. What's the difference between what you've been doing in Trinidad and Tobago and what you've been doing in bowls for you to be among the record breakers so soon?
I think for me, training here, the competition here is much the amount of people here is it's mind blowing. The amount of people doing this sport at such at this level is really great. So, and I would have competitions regularly. So it's really competitive, and you have to rise to the standard to be competitive. So just in training, everyone, it's very positive. Everyone, it's friendly, but everyone is racing each other to be better than the other person. So you have to be the best person in practice, so you are the best person on race day.
Right. And tell me, any other records stand out to you? What's your favorite record of all the records you've ever broken at bowls?
So I broke the 15 to 16 school record in the 200-meter freestyle. I think that would be my favorite.
Right. And tell me if Carifta is at home this year. How are the vibes heading into the champs, and can Team TNT do something special at home?
Yes, I really would like to do. We would really like to do something special. We were at Bahamas last year. Didn't come up with the result. Well, I wanted. So we want to come into this year's Carifta. Things we are planning to, and hopefully they can follow through.
Right, Gillian, let me come back with you. Final questions. The high school and the tertiary institution swimming championships set for later this month. Is this a part of a first section of a 3-part series? I mean, there is one in February and March, or these are standalone meets?
As it stands now, I think organization-wise, they're standalone meets. ISA does one, the ASAJ does the next, and then Mayberry does the third one.
Okay.
But of course, according to coaches, it's the meat of the season.
Right.
We build up in September to December, build up, doing your recruiting, getting everybody together, and then you get into racing. ISA portal and registration. Then you get into racing January, February, March. And then, of course, after that, you're building back. You're doing skill development. You're getting learn to swim to start to get happening for, the summer, through the summer and into September again. So for the coaches and the swimmers, no, these are all tied in. You're keeping score. You're looking at, all right, March is cutting closer to the exam period, and, you try to advise the teachers from January who you're expecting to get in there. Please don't have the labs on the Friday because that's the day we have to be missing. Or if you do have labs, and lots of coordination going on. So in terms of the school, it's all together, it's one big package. But organization-wise, no, three separate people. The ASAJ does the execution, of course, but the entities, how they want it run, how it's executed, what is highlighted, those are the different entities. So, yeah, that's the answer to your question.
Finally, which are the three the swimmers love most?
I think they like the Mayberry. The heats and finals is interesting because, you have to be very strategic with that one. Usually you have the fun time of the relays on a meet, but the relays are done on the first day. So it's purely outright individual efforts on that finals day on Saturday. The prestige is on the ISA meet, of course, because when you talk about ISA, you're matching up against your schoolmates in terms of who played ISA Manning Cup and warming up for Issa Track and Field later down. But I think the Mayberry is the more fun one. Between the sponsors that are there, the knowing that a lot of campaign alums are involved with the putting on of Mayberry over the years, especially when we go to the press launch either the week of or the week before, something like that. And there's that connection that's established as you teach the new swimmers that are coming along. I think that carries a better vibe. And just through the execution of the day, the music that's there, and they'll have heat winner prizes, towels, all of that stuff. So there is the immediate in-hand reward that we'd love to see at more meets. But yeah, let's call it Mayberry. I'll give it to Mayberry.
Oh.
I'll give you a report after these 3 this year.
Most definitely. Okay then, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for stopping by and speaking with us. We wish you all the best.
Thank you very much for having us.
Thank
Take
you.
care, Liam.
Thank you very much. Take care. Bye.
Okay, so that was Gillian Millwood, a national coach and a coach of Y Speedos, and Liam Carrington, a swimmer from Trinidad and Tobago. With that, we take a break and come back with more here on Sports Nation Live.
Outperform, outlast, with top performance, Jackama, reliable, full stop, not comma. We have the expertise for drilling and demolition. We have the power tools for plumbers and electrician. Fancy leg tools, 3 parts and 3 repairs. 3 parts, 3 repairs. The 2 to 3 years. Hilton, available at Delta Supply, 106 Hagley Park Road. Call us at 876-302-61124. Delta Supply, we service what we sell.
Are you ready for it?
Revo. Coming soon.
But is this real? Hey, Greg, come look at this. Oh my, it's happening. Mr. Daniels, the numbers keep getting bigger and bigger.
Sir, the clicks are off the charts.
Hello, sales? What's the emergency? 9,000 clicks in 1 day? 3,000 order? So how much we have left? What? I soon call you back. Mr. Nakamoto, it's Danny from Jamaica. I need 5,000 of the big ones. We're back in business.
Yes, sir. Arigato. Suene. Amplify your brand. Let Nationwide 90 FM assist you in tapping into a captivated audience across our social media platforms. For more information, contact us at 876-630-1210 or sales@nationwidenewsnetwork.com. Businesses, companies, and entrepreneurs, let's supercharge your brand.
Okay, good evening and welcome back to Sports Nation Live. I am Alex Weber, working with Kevin Williams on the other side of the glass, my technical operator. This is our final segment. Let me give you an update on what's been happening in the 3-day practice match between the West Indies and Pakistan Shaheens. That's the Pakistan Shaheens 11. West Indies, they would have declared their first innings on 346 for 8. Craig Brathwaite, he made 34. Mikhail Lewis, 34. Casey Carty, 22. Kevin Hodge, 17. Alec Athanes, 99. Justin Greaves, 5. Tevin Imlek, 13. Amir Jangu, 63 not out. Joshua De Silva, he was run out for 22. Kevin Sinclair, he made 28 not out. The wicket takers for the Shaheens 11. Mohammad Ramiz Jr., he took 3 for 64. And Ahmed Sahif Abdullah, he took 2 for 99. Now batting a first time in their first innings, the Shaheens, they are made 212 for 9 at stumps on day 2. Imam ul Haq, the captain, he made 5. Mohammed Urare, he made 74. Amir Yusuf, he made 16. Mohammed Sulman, he made 45. Sahid Khan, 4. Hussein Talat, 12. Rohail Nasir, 21. Gaza Gore, 13. Ahmed Sahif Abdullah, 7. Mohammed Musa, 10 not out. And Mohammed Ramiz Jr. is yet to get off the mark. The wicket takers for the West Indies were Kevin Sinclair with 3 for 50 and Gudakesh Moti 2 for 21, with Jamel Warrican and Kamar Roach taking 1 apiece. Let me quickly give you some result in the Real Never Champions League competition. JDF FC, they beat Olympic Gardens 4 goals to 0. The scorers for JDF was Sheldon Wagbir, Shamar Roden, Tevin Cheese, and Michael Allen. During the Park, they would have beaten Santos 3-1. Scorer for During the Park was Shaquille Richards, Tavor Pattinger, and Omar Logan, while Santos, they would have benefited from a own goal. Augustown, they beat Marvel Hunden 2-1. Marvel goal scorer was Omarion Barrett, while Augustown goal scorers were Robert Henry and Ike Hudson. Brownstown, they defeated Boys Town 2 goals to 0, with Maria Kelly and Giovanni Cummins scoring for Brownstown. Constant Spring, they beat Barbican 3-2. Javier Wilmot, he scored a double for Constant Spring, and Sean Kugel, he got 1 for Constant Spring. Shortwood United versus Real Madrid match was postponed. Now the Jamaica Premier League matches on for tomorrow. Harbourview against Humber Lion at Harbourview. Via United against Portmore United at Wembley State Centre of Excellence. Dunby Holding against Cavalier at Dunby Holding. At the Jerusalem Stadium will be a double-header. It's Chapital Maroons against Malines United at 3 p.m., while the late kickoff at 5:30 is Waterhouse against Tivoli Gardens. On Monday, it will be a double-header at the Anthony Spalding's Complex, with Racing United against Mount Pleasant and Onyx Gardens against Montego Bay United. So those are the fixtures for the Brian Neville Jamaica Premier League. Now we continue with as Jamaica's national. We heard earlier from the national coach of the Sunshine Girls. Now we'll be talking some track and field, some sad news, as 3-time Jamaican Olympian Dr. Una Morris is one of thousands of California residents who unfortunately lost their houses to the destructive wildfires in the greater Los Angeles area. The 77-year-old Morris, who competed at the 1964, 68, and 72 Olympic Games, was living in the Altadena area. President of the jury expressed his sympathy for the Olympians' loss.
The Jamaica Olympic Association regrets Una's loss. The elements of nature have robbed Olympian Dr. Una Morris Chong of her house in the Los Angeles wildfires. But the jury's earnest prayer is that this esteemed member of our home will find the fortitude to rise from the ashes with an indomitable spirit that characterized her sprinting exploits at the 1964, the 1968, and the 1972 Olympic Games. Una, continue to lift up your eyes to the hills from whence cometh your help. And in the theme of the 2024 Parisian Games, go faster, go higher, and stronger.
Meanwhile, the International Olympic Committee, IOC, has published the candidature documents for the 7 presidential candidates, which will serve as the basis for their presentations to be made to all IOC members on January 30 in Lausanne, Switzerland. The candidates' platform share several key themes, including athletes' empowerment, climate change and sustainability, digital transformation, and addressing issues related to gender. Samuda shares his thoughts on the candidates.
Elections will inevitably give rise to manifestos of goodwill towards men and salvation. The test, however, should not be he or she who gives the best messianic resume, but who has demonstrated over the years character in thought, word, and deed, and who will seamlessly and competently wear the mantle of leadership with pride, inspiration, and without self-absorption. The right choice calls for a deeper probe of credentials, a deeper scan of skills, a deeper envisioning of vision, and a deeper understanding of thought and servant leadership. The magnificent and worthy 7 have placed their credentials on the table, and all have touch points that resonate with good governance and innovative leadership. Christie of Zimbabwe is the youngest by far and brings to the table what others cannot. A lady, a woman in presidential robes with history on her side, but without that fact taking precedent to her known range of skills, which she hopes will set her apart from her colleagues. There's only one royal, Prince Faisal of Jordan, whose genuine wish is to be anointed by his people, his IOC colleagues, and crowned not by hereditary privilege, but as of right, given his know-how and vast experience. One of Spain is not counting too much on his parental pass, as he very well knows that he must stand on his own feet and find his footing in the strength of his several accomplishments, which are duly acknowledged. Frenchman and cyclist President David, his appeal resides in the fact that he has the leg work, power, and stamina as a relatively young contender to last to the finish line. But David is very wise to the fact and is adept in understanding sports dynamics, that pedaling has much more to do with advancing rather than rotation. Sebastian of Great Britain, he's hoping reverently that the Lord will be on his side, and that he, Sebastian, will take his seat on the right side, and that the prize will be a vote of confidence in his respected, innovative, and visionary DNA qualities. Great Britain is also trusting Johan to have them say at the end of the day Long live the king. But he knows that ascension to the throne calls for strategic thought and leadership, which I think reside in him. Morinari of Japan is well known in the world of gymnastics and will be banking on his own organizational skills and balanced thinking on the Olympic presidential beam to raise the bar and then to lift the cup. The jury is still out. But come March, a verdict will undoubtedly be handed down, and only one will be left standing as president. Let him or her, who is true to him or herself, and who combines integrity and valor of leadership with genes of competence, let him or her wear the crown.
Christopher Samuda, President of the GOA. Now that's all the time we have for today. Let me say a special thanks to Carlton Simmons, Demain Douglas, Sasage Henry, Christopher Samuda, Gillian Millwood, Liam Carrington, Jerome Jarrett, Remy Evans, and Paul Vaughan. On behalf of my technical operator Kevin Williams, I'm Alex Raby saying good night, God bless. And as usual, we hope that you will be in church on a Sunday. If you don't have a church to worship, you can always worship with us at 159 Olympic Way. That's Tower Hill Missionary Church. God bless. Good night.